and APR won't last long, and our new fast-track loan process can get it done in record time. So call today, 844-425-3669. That's 844-425-3669. 844-425-3669. It's the biggest no-brainer in the history of mankind. Call us at 844-425-3669.
NMLS 3304. Not all loans apply. Equal housing lender. Rate subject to change.
Winter is here, but it's not too late to get a complete furnace check for just $79 from Plumline Services. Catch things before they turn into expensive problems. Turn to the experts you trust. Plumline Services, earning your trust since 1998. Now with a second location serving clients in Boulder, Longmont, and more. Service at home. Servants at heart. Schedule online at plumlineservices.com. No phone call, no hassle, no wait. plumlineservices.com.
It's replacement window season. If your windows are drafty, difficult to operate, or costing you money on your energy bill, it's time to replace them. Champion.
Yeah, so they got to do, they got to straighten my nose. What's that called? Get rid of the bone spur.
Yeah, that's good. It'll look good.
And then surgery for the sinuses.
But Mark, I don't understand why you need surgery for sinuses.
Because they can't get rid of it. It's bad. It's acute. It doesn't go away. God. 4 weeks of antibiotics. It doesn't fucking touch it.
When do you have to go?
I don't know. I want to know.
Talib postponed his surgery. Did you know that?
Yeah, he just said that.
Does Suze know?
Winchers
On the 19th.
of this month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just 2 weeks.
And then I can't imagine mine would be in the next 2 months. I mean,
It wouldn't be.
I can't imagine.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I'll know by Friday. How's that? Or Monday.
They can pretty much schedule those pretty well, usually. They have a lot of surgeons.
This is not good, Mark, because I went to see an ENT, I don't know, a week ago, and he gave me antibiotics. But he said I had a deviated septum.
Yeah, so do I.
Stuff.
So I had surgery. It really helped, but I still get shit.
What's funny is I have no idea. I don't remember any trauma to my nose, but you can see it. I mean, you see it right in the CT scan.
Wow.
Yeah, but sometimes you're born that way.
Yeah, I don't know. But mine's just sinus infection more than anything. Fucking sucks, man.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter.
By the way, somebody texted, how do companies get away with not paying employees? Son-in-law hasn't gotten a check for 4 weeks, filed a complaint with labor division, but company will not even call back now. Is the only other option small claims? Let me tell you something. When you go through wage and hour, they're pretty aggressive, but you also have a right to go for treble damages and get a judgment. So if you want to call us, we will be happy to do this for you, to help you get started. But go to, for sure, labor, and make sure you fill out an official complaint, which gives you the right to sue for treble damages. You'll get a judgment. There's no two ways about it. We'd like to know the name of the company, too, so we can tell people and warn people. And if you just heard, I think we're averting a tragedy. Some woman called and said she talked to a guy in Florida about moving. I know she's being ripped off. He took bank account information, a routing number, an account number, said he'll wait till Thursday to draft the account. He'll draft the account whenever he damn well pleases. We know he will, and she'll never get the money back. He'll sell that contract to anyone. Then that next person will rip her off when they go to pick it up, and then the third person will rip it up when they go to rip her off when they go to deliver it. And 3 people will take a bite off the apple, sometimes even 4. It is a major ripoff. Moving is a major ripoff. Major. I would say you have a 9 out of 10 chance of being ripped off when you hire a mover. So you have to hire reputable movers. Now let's talk to Shelley. Shelley, what is happening in your life?
I am trying to find an attorney to help me with a case that I had hired attorneys for a contested will that was my father's. And unfortunately, the attorneys that I hired really screwed me over, and I'm being sued by.
Okay, let's take it. Okay, this sounds like, now listen, this sounds like a crazy person, either on the other side or you. So let's go right back to the beginning. Who died? And it was your dad, did you say?
Yeah. Oh, are you live?
Yes, we are, Shelley, and that's how we help people. But it's okay. Don't use last names and stuff. It's okay. Now, who died? A father?
It was my father, yes.
Okay. Now, your mom's gone?
My mom died 11 years ago.
What would you say your dad has in net worth with everything added up and then bills paid? What do you think he has left?
$4 million.
Okay, about $4 million estate. Okay. And then what about you? Is there a will, by the way?
Well, this is the problem.
Go ahead.
Is that there is a will that he had done in 2010 with an attorney.
Okay.
And he was single at the time. And he got married in 2012. and they had a prenuptial agreement. And they also had a terrible, terrible marriage.
Well, he can't disinherit her if he was married that long. There's a certain amount of time. He can't disinherit her. So
no, what she ended up doing is after my father died, she voided the prenup and said it was voided a couple years before. And she came up with a 2-page internet will that her friends had witnessed.
Okay.
It wasn't notarized, it was witnessed.
Mm-hmm.
And
by her friends.
Correct. And they actually did get up in front of the judge and say that, yes, they did sign, although
is she saying the prenup was rescinded?
Yeah, she said it was voided. So this new will, my dad left her everything in this new 2016 will that my dad
And you
left
are
her.
contesting it, right?
Correct.
Okay, so hold on now. One thing at a time. The attorney you hired to contest it, was he an estate attorney?
No, she's not.
Well, how'd she screw things up?
Oh, my God.
I mean, give me an idea.
She wrote all kinds of judgments against the personal representative, and
attorneys don't write judgments, so
or not a judgment. She complained that the personal representative was being biased and on the widow's side, and
well, the personal representative, I don't know what you're talking about. The personal representative, are you talking about the public trustee appointed by the court?
Correct.
Okay. See, once a public trustee is appointed, you're all screwed because that public trustee is going to take the bulk of the money. So you're all screwed. You see, a public administrator takes for themselves first, and they try to drum up as much as they can in charges, and the family gets little or nothing. It is the number one mistake when it happens. Families almost never make out when there's a public administrator because they end up really paying the public administrator. So that's really unfortunate. Why was a public administrator appointed? Can you get Blake Harris on, Suze, if you can, for this? Why was he appointed, or she? Why, Shelley?
Because I did not want, Glenda is her name, the widow, I did not want her to be the executor or representative, and she didn't want me to, and so...
Okay, so the judge did that. Okay, so the judge did that. Now, have the assets been... What state is this?
Colorado.
Have the assets been distributed yet?
I believe so.
So it's already been done. How much was distributed? Do you know?
No, I don't. But the estate was appraised at over $4 million.
I get it. What do you think you were left?
Nothing.
No, I'm asking what. Obviously, you're contesting. What do you think you had coming?
Oh, well, I have 35% of his estate.
Why? How do you come up with 35%?
Because that's what he wrote in his will.
In his original will.
Correct.
All right, hold on. We're going to get Blake Harris, attorney at law. It's 10:45. I have to take a break.
I'm sorry to see this. It's really important, though. It's a good case.
Cleared out several earlier issues. Southbound a little hesitation through downtown Denver. Westbound I-70 still bunches up through the construction through the ditch.
Yeah, Shelley got screwed.
270 and Capitol breaks in Denver City. With an accident on 38th at Federal and an accident on Lincoln Street at Bayou. Fox 31 pinpoint weather. Beautiful sunshine for a couple of more days. A high around 66 expected this afternoon. We could reach 70 degrees tomorrow afternoon. Thursday, a few clouds are going to move in. You'll still see highs near 70 degrees.
Mark,
Friday at 64.
if it's okay, tomorrow we're getting off early. It'd be better to meet than today. Because today I have a Zoom.
Yeah, it is tomorrow. Or was it today?
No, good. Tomorrow's better. Good. Because I have a couple of meetings that I'm going to go to. Tomorrow's early.
Whose resumes match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
I believe everyone needs a public
adjuster. What is a public adjuster? It is an adjuster that works for you against your insurance company. Now, when I say against your insurance company, don't get the wrong idea. Your insurance company may not be your enemy, but when you have a claim, they are, because they will not want to pay the full amount of that claim. I don't care who they are. I'm sorry, they won't. You need a public adjuster. They'll always get more money. And when they get more money, they take a small percentage of the extra they get. You need to check in with Public Insurance Adjusters of Colorado, especially if you're a victim of that fire, whether direct damage or surrounding damage or any insurance claim. Here's the message. They will do a free analysis of your claim. Whether you just closed it, you can open up a claim that's 2 years gone if you think you've been ripped, or a new claim. They'll take a free look and analysis and let you know what they think. And then if they get hired, it's a contingency. 720-715-0000, 720-715-zeros. And an easy website to remember, coclaims.com, coclaims.com. Something else easy to remember, 833-GOT-PAIN. 833-GOT-PAIN, that is Colorado Pain Care. And that's who I went to get out of pain. And you can be out of pain, too. They work with all major insurance. They have a multitude of modalities to help treat you and your pain. They are covered by insurance. Colorado Pain Care Sport and Spine. By the way, multiple locations around the Denver area. And hours from 7 to 7, even same-day appointments. 303 Got Pain. Meet the doctors. Read about them at coloradopaincare.com. coloradopaincare.com. I'll tell you about this website, mymoneymyway.com. What does that mean? Well, there are two programs to help you get ready for retirement. One is something called Become the Banker, which is an overfunded life insurance policy on purpose that grows tax-free, and you use it through your life and in retirement. Another one is buying an annuity for future income, both excellent plans that you can find out about at mymoneymyway.com.
Children's Hospital Colorado Mighty Millions raffle is already 50% sold. You can win the $2.5 million grand prize show home plus $800,000 in bonus cash. Awarded, fully furnished, professionally decorated landscape.
It just did it again. What is going on?
What is that?
Knocking us out of YouTube.
Do roller coaster stock markets make you nervous? With such frequent ups and downs,
So right now you have a sinus infection right this minute?
Had it for a long time, man.
It runs the shit out of you, doesn't it run you down?
I don't know. I've had it so long I couldn't tell you. I really couldn't tell you. It's just in one area. It's right here. This cavity right here.
your retirement Troubleshooter.com.
You know, right now is the time to put your home to work for you. It really is, because all of that equity that you've built over the past several years, it can now be accessed as cash to improve your financial condition.
I'll tell you what, they're nuts if they think Putin's nuts. He is not crazy.
I think you got to define crazy.
He's bold and aggressive.
I think he's a little unstable too, man. Dude, yeah. How old is he?
I don't know.
He ain't a fucking young chicken.
You're just going to have a simple conversation with one of my friends around custom loans designed just for you. It can mean up to $1,000 in monthly savings. So why not call one of my friends at American?
He's almost 70.
You might close in as fast as 10 days. So call him right
69.
now. You're one of Michael Brown's friends. 303
Only a year older than me.
303-695-7000 or online AmericanFinancing.net.
I don't know, man. I think he's a little wacko.
Vicks NyQuil Severe gives you powerful relief from your worst cold and flu symptoms, which changes a night that sounds like this.
Is Facebook dropping too?
Not Facebook isn't moving around very much. YouTube is actually up, but this computer has lost track.
Sniffling, sneezing, coughing, sore throat, stuffy head, aching, fever, best sleep with a cold. Medicine.
Where's our cackling vice president?
You're the one everyone looks to for answers.
Where's your vice president?
The job must get done, and you're the one who makes it happen. We get you, Jackie Fresno.
I can't wait for his speech tonight. What the fuck's he gonna say?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I fucked shit up.
He's gonna sound like he's the best thing that ever happened.
I don't know, man. He's losing everybody.
Call QuickRanger.com.
I ignore it. I just let that president fly.
What about cackling VP, your vice president?
I was in California last weekend. That's it.
Hi, Tom Martino, WaterPros.
WaterPros.net, the best systems at the lowest prices, including a water fountain. Never buy bottled water for under $1,000 fully installed, around $900. WaterPros.net. All right, Shelley, we have Blake Harris on. Blake Harris Law. He's great at what he does. Blake, this is in Colorado. I just want to sum this up real quick, and if we have to call you back, we will. But her father died, left a $4 million estate. In 2010, he had a will. In 2012, he got married. She said he had a prenup. The current wife right now, who married him in 2012, says that prenup was voided, and he replaced it with a new will in 2016, leaving her everything. Obviously, Shelley is upset. She hired an attorney to contest the will. Where is that attorney, Shelley?
They actually ended up, they got in so much trouble because of this case that they, the attorney is getting sanctioned, and she withdrew from the case.
Okay, I want to ask something. They appointed a public trustee. Is that what it's called, Blake? What is it called when the court gets involved? Is it a public trustee or administrator? What is it called?
Public administrator, probably.
Yeah, and that's terrible because you know as well as I do, whenever a public administrator is appointed on a multi-million-dollar estate, they make sure they have plenty of cookies before they distribute anything. So let's talk about this. She tried to contest the will. The courts basically shot her down and distributed the will. Can she go after him still?
Probably not. It's called res judicata, which means that it's already been tried. If she tries to bring a case, they can defend it just by saying res judicata. This has already been brought, unless there is an underlying issue with the case, such as fraud. But in absence of fraud, looks like she's out of luck.
Shelley, do you have a copy of the original will and the original prenup?
Yes.
Where'd you get a copy of the prenup?
From the attorney.
Okay. What attorney?
From the attorney with the will.
Okay, so why would the attorney show you the original will and the original prenup?
Because he knew that my dad never redid a will.
Wait a minute. So your dad's own attorney is saying it's not real?
Yes.
Wait a minute. Your dad's attorney is saying, Your Honor, this will is not genuine.
Well, he's saying that he believes that there's no way that my dad signed a 2-page internet will.
In 2016.
Right. Because he and his attorney
and what?
were
Hold on.
friends.
Okay, so if he's friends with his attorney did the prenup, his attorney did the original will. She comes up with a voided prenup and a new will. What attorney did it? Does she have an attorney that did that will with him?
No.
She's saying he did it himself outside of his attorney's advice.
Right.
And the court bought it.
Yep.
I don't know, Blake. What do you think? That sounds screwy to me.
Okay, so first of all, if the court has already ruled on this, there's not much that can be done. Sometimes people will work with an attorney.
Shelley, did the court rule on it already? Did they rule against you already?
Yes, but I filed an appeal.
Who did?
I did.
How do you know it was accepted?
What's the basis of your appeal?
Because I got it from the Court of Appeals.
And they said they would look at it?
Yeah, I have to have all the briefing in, but I don't have an attorney.
Okay, well, you got to pay for an attorney. Do you know that?
Well, yes, I do know that.
Blake Harris law firm, they can do it.
Okay.
I mean, really, if you're looking for help, they can do it. They don't do it on contingency. A lot of people believe all attorneys work on contingency, and they don't. Well, I shouldn't speak for you, Blake. Do you work on contingency?
Not in this type of case. And an appeal, you can contact me. I can probably refer you to somebody who can handle the appeal. But we generally don't handle the appeals ourselves. There are attorneys who really specialize
All right.
in appeals. But feel free to contact me. I'm happy to put you in touch with somebody who can help.
So basically, Blake, she's got an uphill battle. She's got to prove. But if she has his attorney on her side and saying, I'm friends with him, plus I was his attorney, I don't think he'd ever do this without my advice. I mean, I don't know. But the wife is saying that not only did he do it, but she has witnesses, and those witnesses conveniently happen to be her friends. Right, Shelley?
Correct.
What do you think, Blake?
I think the judge has already ruled on this one. You're allowed to spend $10,000 on an estate plan, then turn around the next day and print something off the internet that revokes that $10,000 estate plan. You could. Is there an argument of undue influence or insane delusion, or that your father lacked capacity? Even still, the point's moot. The judge has already ruled on the case.
Yeah. So Shelley, I don't know. You're gonna spend a lot of money on this. Blake Harris, 833-ASK-BLAKE. He can refer someone to you if you want to pursue an appeal. 833-ASK-BLAKE. I'm Tom Martino. We have more coming up on the Troubleshooter Show. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Get your calls in. Let's save you some money, time, and hassle.
2016 slaughter of 8 members of the Ohio family on the Pink Moon Murders podcast. Investigating David Raven tells the story of a night that shocked the nation with its brutality. Who will commit such horrific crimes? And why? Schools went into lockdown, schools closed, and home doors were built to check the world's graphic mass murderer was on the loose. Listen to the Pink Moon Murders on the podcast. I'm Dr. Allen with Restore Osteo, Colorado. What activity would you enjoy if your knees didn't hurt? Have you wondered if there is an alternative to surgery? At RestoreOsteo.com, discover our unique Healthy Knee Protocol, a process created with you in mind. Request an appointment today at any of our 5 convenient locations: Golden, Aurora, Thornton, Colorado Springs, and Littleton. Begin your journey to healthy mobility and healthy living. Visit RestoreOsteo.com today. That's RestoreOsteo.com.
KRFX HD2 Denver.
KHOW Denver, an iHeart radio station available everywhere on our free iHeartRadio app. #1 for music, radio, and podcasts, all in one.
ABC News, I'm Victor Openda. Russia's invasion into Ukraine is intensifying, with reports of new shelling and bombing in several key cities from the south to outside the capital. Ukrainian officials say the Russian forces are targeting civilian areas. ABC's Ian Panel is in Ukraine and says there are reports Russians are using weapons banned under international law in Ukraine's secular
Write him a ticket.
Human Rights Watch pointing to this video online, accusing the Russians of using cluster bombs on the city. With better authority, an attack on civilian areas would be a war crime.
A miles-long convoy of Russian troops and tanks creeps toward Ukraine's capital, Kyiv, with fears the worst of the fighting is yet to come for millions still left in the city. President Biden is set to deliver his first State of the Union address tonight, focusing on his response to the war. He's also expected to address the economy and highlight what one official calls the tremendous progress in battling the pandemic. This is ABC News. Police in California say a man killed his 3 daughters during a court-ordered
This is unbelievable.
at a church in Sacramento. Investigators
Killed his 3 daughters on a court-ordered visit.
Why? Oh my God, little babies.
Yep. Like 9, 11, and 13, I think.
Donald Trump casts a long shadow across deep-red Texas, and Republican politicians vying to keep their jobs have, in varying degrees, adopted the former president's assertion that the 2020 election was rigged. It's motivated them to pass a series of new restrictions on mail-in ballots and a rollback of COVID-related procedures.
What's wrong with keeping elections legit? Everyone, you know, really, ballot harvesting and drop boxes and all that, that's bullshit. It really is. There's no way to know if those are valid. There's no way.
I disagree, but okay.
I agree 100%.
Well, how do you? Talib, there's no one there. They just drop them. How can that be validated?
The ballot is sent to your house. You open it, you fill it out, you put it in the envelope, and you sign it. Okay? It's not like 10 ballots are sent to your house. It's not like it's a stack of them. Okay? I get mine. My wife gets hers. We fill them out and we take them to the drop box.
You're saying if everyone's honest about it.
Yeah.
Well, not everyone is.
Well, Tom, not everyone is honest about anything.
Well, no, but if you have to show up and vote, that's pretty well controlled.
Yeah, and
if you excuse me, unless you don't ask for ID. If you have to show up and show an ID, you pretty much have to prove who you are and then vote.
And I would agree with that, okay, if that was all that people were doing. Okay, but there's other things that happen in southern states. There are other ways that you keep people away from legitimately voting. And it is historically a fact that it goes down that way. Historically. Okay.
What, they won't go out and vote?
No, not that they won't go out and vote, that they are prevented from voting.
How?
Different kinds of ways.
Like how? I don't understand. I don't understand how people are prevented from voting. I'm serious. And I mean that. I don't understand it.
I don't know how those 3 guys chased Aubrey down and shot him either. Okay. No, I know it's apples and lizards.
So are you saying, wait a minute, that black people are afraid to vote because they're going to be shot?
I'm not saying they're afraid to vote. I'm saying they're prevented from voting.
But how are they prevented? Mark, how are black people prevented from voting?
I don't think they are, so I don't know.
I wish I did know.
I'm not saying they never were by any means.
No, of course not.
I
don't know
right now.
And I'm not even saying I know they're not now. I don't know.
And I'm saying voting districts and lines and changing.
But that has nothing to do with the actual voting.
Actually, it does.
Well, it has to do with where you're voting. I'm not talking about southern states. I'm talking about all over.
And we're talking about national voting.
And what difference would it make if you're here, you have the freedom to go out and vote, whether you vote here or here? What difference does that make?
I can't get there.
Real credit card questions require real people.
I just don't understand why voting has become such a hassle that we have to allow people to drop it off.
Because it's a playable game.
Discover exceptionally common sense.
Yes, it's a.
What the fuck does that mean? I speak English. What does that mean? A playable game. What does that mean? I'm saying you get up and you go out and vote, or you don't.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing preventing a black woman or a black man from getting up and voting.
No. And then you change the voting time to 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and you got a line that's 50 miles long, and
okay, that's discouraging, but it doesn't prevent you.
No,
I mean,
it's not.
It's a pain in the ass.
It can be more than a pain in the ass.
And by the way, I don't believe anyone is even opposed to mail-in ballots. They're opposed to drop boxes and harvesting. People going out collecting votes. Put it in the fucking mail. But I mean, to go out to a neighborhood and collect votes, who's to say those votes are not being
Okay, well, here's something that we actually do right here in Denver.
Yeah.
Okay, black folks do it.
What?
Okay? Black folks do it. I know this. Why? Well, no, let me tell you what we do. Okay, seniors, we set up a call line. If you need to get your ballot to the box, call us. We'll come pick them up. Denver says that you can't drop off more than 10 at a time, so several of us go around.
Why can't they put it in the mail? How is that?
Well, maybe they waited late. Okay, they're just trying to get it in. Okay, last minute, I drop it in the mail, but now you're talking about counting votes 3 weeks after the election. No, let's get it in on time. Okay.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Hi, I'm Tom Martino. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK, 713-822-55. Don't forget realcbdthatworks.com for pain, inflammation, and anxiety. Panacea Life Sciences, they have a cosmetic line right now that has anti-inflammatory properties, great for eyes. realcbdthatworks.com is the website. Put Tom in the promo code, save 30%. You know, earlier we took a call from Shirley. Shirley said she was moving from Denver to somewhere, and she called a mover, and I said, wait a minute, is that mover from Florida? She said, well, yes. Yeah, because most people advertising on the internet are from Florida, and I don't think, I'm just going to put it out here. I've never heard of not one legitimate mover, broker from Florida. Never. I don't even know why they're all there. Now, first of all, I would never use a broker anywhere, let alone Florida. So using a broker has about a 95% chance of being ripped off. Using a broker in Florida has about a 99.9% chance of being ripped off. What is a broker? A broker says, oh, Shirley, how many rooms you got? What is it? This is what it's going to cost. Send us a deposit. Once they get that deposit, they're done. You don't understand. They're not part of you. They sell that contract. And they don't care who they sell it to. They can sell it to Joe Blow, who just bought a truck, who never moved anything. And then they can sell it. And Joe Blow shows up and usually rips you off again and says, oh, this was underestimated. You got to pay this, or we're not even picking it up. Then once it's picked up, Joe Blow sells it to someone else to move it. Or they put it in storage. And that other person then calls you and says, oh, in order to deliver it, we need this much more. You end up paying triple or quadruple the amount originally estimated. It happens time and time and time again. I've handled dozens and dozens of these. I said, Shirley, don't ever pay this money up front. Cancel it. She said, I already gave my bank account info. And I said, they most likely hit your bank. Go to your bank. It was a credit union. I said, here's the unfortunate situation. You can't just stop that account. Okay, listen to this now. Listen carefully. You can't just close the account and open another one at the same bank, not even at another branch of the same bank. Why is that? Because banking has cross-collateralization agreements. What does that mean? Cross-collateralization means that if one account is closed or missing funds or lacks funds, they can go to any other account you have. So it doesn't matter if you changed accounts. You must change institutions. Yes, unfortunately, you must. And I told Shirley, if she doesn't, it's not a maybe. She will be ripped off. And I told her to do that. Where are you now, Shirley? Did you do it?
I talked to them. They said...
Who did you talk to?
I talked to a fraud guy in credit union.
They're not going to tell you. Okay, they're not going to tell you the truth, Shirley. They're going to tell you, "Oh, don't worry about it," or they're even worse. You shouldn't have told them you had an outstanding thing going on, because they're going to say, "Well, you can't close it now because you gave your number out for someone to draw." I'm telling you, what did they tell you, Shirley? What did they tell you?
He closed it.
Good. Thank God. Now, what else did he do?
I'm going to go to the bank and change account numbers, and
no,
he said they
it will
can't
not.
get
Yep,
into
he's
the
wrong.
new account
I'm sorry,
number.
he's wrong. He's wrong. Okay, Shirley? Happy ripoff. Let me know when they hit your account, because you will. I'm telling you, you will be ripped off. I'm sorry. They're going to hit that account. The funds will not be there, and they're going to do a cross-collateralization to your other account. Now, I know they say that's not going to happen. Ask them if they have a cross-collateralization. In fact, I know they do. What you do is, if you bring me the paperwork that you signed or that you will sign with the new account, you're going to see something called a cross-collateralization agreement, or it's going to be similarly worded. But, Shirley, hey, you know what? I want you. You do whatever you want. Okay, Shirley, I'm done. I did what I could. You will be ripped off, and you're going to let me know about it after it's done. Unless you're too proud, then you won't. But you won't be able to go back to that guy, because he's going to say, oh, no, Shirley, you must have misunderstood. You see, you signed this agreement with someone else. And it's a minority interest, that's one thing. If it's a majority interest, it's another. Trust me, Shirley, you will be ripped off. It's March 1st, 2022 at 11:12 a.m. Write the words down. Write them down. Brian, what's going on in your life, Brian?
Hey, good morning, Tom.
What's happening?
Hey, so I'm calling on behalf of my in-laws. They recently purchased a used car, which was from Cherry Creek Automotive here in Denver. We're told that the vehicle was in good working condition, and came to find out
that's you bought it as is. I can tell you that cherries come out of the exhaust pipe. It doesn't matter if you can't prove it. I'm serious.
Right?
Being told it's in good running order means absolutely nothing. Here's why. If something was wrong with that car, and we go back there and say, we demand you fix this because you told them it was in great running order, they're going to say, well, they bought it as is.
Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of.
When did they buy it, Brian?
This was, it was back, I believe, February 16th now. So
okay.
It was a few weeks back.
Let's see if we have anything. Hold on. Let's see. February 16th, they bought it. And what did they do? Did they get it checked out?
Well, so I've got a half-assed checkout sheet from a Midas.
Wait. At least, hold on. Before they bought it, they at least took it to a Midas?
So they claim. That's right.
Before they bought it?
Well, no, this was after.
Well, then it doesn't matter. So they didn't get the car checked out then before they bought it?
Correct.
Okay. So what kind of car did they buy? I'm looking for hooks here. What kind of car did they buy?
This is a 2012 Fiat 500.
2012 Fiat, which, by the way, is a turd when it came off the factory. So it's a 2012 Fiat, and I'm serious when I say a turd. Now, how many miles on this turd?
About 29,000.
No, there wasn't. They had 29,000 miles on a 11-year-old car?
Yeah, on a one-owner. Yeah, clean Carfax.
Well, maybe. Hold on. So Carfax shows it's truly only had. I might amend what I said there about a piece of turd. It had only had 12,000 miles.
No, 29,000.
Excuse me, only 29,000. Do you realize what 29,000 miles is on that many? Did you do the math?
It's very few. That's right.
Okay, so 29,000 miles on 11 years. Let's just do the math. No, it's actually 10 years, right? It's 10 years old because they come out early. So that's 2,900 miles, right? A year. And 2,900 miles a year, that would be about 360. That would be 8 miles or less a day. I guess it's theoretically possible. So, who did it belong to, this one owner?
Well, that's hard to say. I didn't actually get to meet that person. So
but you know what? This could be a rare find. What did they pay for it?
$10,000.
Okay, so let's talk about it. What's wrong?
Well, according to the Fiat dealer, once they got a hold of it and they took a look, the engine was full of metal shavings, and the transmission had been welded shut with JB Weld. So,
well, then it doesn't have 29,000 miles. Did the dealer think it had? Because here's why I'm saying this. That's the one thing that you could have, as is or not, that would get you the money back.
Is if the mileage was wrong?
Yes. If the mileage was misrepresented, that would be the one bullet you have in your gun. That's why I was asking. Did the Fiat dealer suspect?
Is there anything there?
What's that?
If the condition was misrepresented, would there be anything there?
Okay. Technically, if there is fraud in the inducement, if they said to you, this is a perfect car, this is wonderful, this is a great running car, and it's not, yeah, but how do you prove it? How do you prove that without having it in the contract? And especially when you said as is.
That's our concern.
Now,
yeah, they drummed up a $15,000 repair bill for this $10,000 car.
Did they get it fixed?
Oh, hell no, not yet.
Okay, so the engine was full of metal, and what else?
And the transmission had impacted something. There was in some type of an accident, and then was misrepaired, and then they had attempted to paint over it. And
okay, got it. Did you at least call back Cherry Creek Auto? Who is Cherry Creek Auto? Who owns it? Do you know?
It's Justin Franks, I believe, is the owner.
Let's call him. Yeah, I mean, did you go back? Did you call him and say, hey, man, this thing is a piece of crap?
We went back and forth quite a bit.
Hold on. Did you say we were told it was in perfect condition?
Absolutely.
And what did they say? Oh, we're sorry. Come get another car.
He said, had he known, he never would have sold it.
But it was sold. So what is he going to do about it?
Nothing. Well, so he said it was a mistake that his guys must have overlooked these issues.
So he's the owner. He can undo it.
Well, yeah, that's what I would like to think.
Hold on, man. Just hold on.
Have you ever felt depressed about work, only to have your dad...
So you told him you hate your job, and he said, well, you better talk yourself out.
They said it was.
And then you thought, I'd love to talk. It was a podcast. And then you were just
JB welded shut.
Yeah.
I didn't think JB Weld could hold together the transmission. That's pretty impressive.
But you seem happy, so that's great, kiddo. You ever do that? Well, you could. That's Spreaker.com. That's Spreaker. Ask your dad. He actually does.
John Fuller is a personal injury attorney that will answer your questions free of charge if you're injured in an accident and you need information. He has a small law firm on purpose, a law firm dedicated to helping people with their problems, one by one, person by person. You get his cell phone and you get personal attention. That should mean a lot because with a lot of big firms, you're just a number. You'll know John and his entire team. So, ask your questions free of charge with no obligation. If you do hire him, you will get the attention you deserve. PersonalInjuryCO.com. PersonalInjuryCO.com. 303-597-4500. Sheridan Auto Tech. That's really where you should take a used car. You want to get it checked. Or if you want to maintain a car, SheridanAutoTech.com. Kevin Calkin has everything you want in a car repair shop. He really does. And I always say that. You want to look for a place that has the longevity. You want the honesty, experience, knowledge, convenience, and value. On Colfax in Lakewood, on Havana in Aurora. Give them a call. 303-455-7242. 455-7242. SheridanAutotech.com. A lot of people are looking for extra cash. Inflation has hit hard. If you have old jewelry you're not using, tangled messes, mismatched earrings, broken watches, old coin collections, whatever it is, and it has precious metals, David Ellis Jewelry will buy it on the spot. He's been there 40 years, so you can trust him. A jeweler for 40 years. You don't do that unless you're honest and forthright. DavidEllisJewelry.com. 3rd and Clayton in Cherry Creek. 303-322-8779. Now, instead of mailing it away to some unknown person over the internet, what you can do is go to someone that I've known for almost the whole time he's been here. And don't ever meet someone coming through town in a hotel room. Go to someone who has a store, can write you a check on the spot, and that check will be cashed. DavidEllisJewelry.com. 303-322-8779.
What's up, Nuggets fans? It's Jamal Murray here to tell you about Orchard. If you're looking to buy... Orchard turns you into a cash buyer so you can win in a competitive market. And it doesn't cost you any more money than traditional real estate.
We have a coin person that will value coins. David Ellis.
No, it's manufactured hardwood. That's not wood through and through, is it?
No, it's fake wood.
What's been
top dollar coin.
Modern medicine or personal hygiene? Actually, it's both. But considering that bathing went mainstream in the 1800s and brushing your teeth...
He's a whatever they're called.
Isn't it time
a laminate,
right? Like cleaning your nose.
What's that?
After all,
it's a laminate.
Usually it's corkboard and then hardwood on the top. It's not hardwood through and through, you know what I'm saying? It is hardwood on the top.
Hardwood veneer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, really, it's good shit if you get it good.
To pull saline in one nostril to the very...
I don't know why, in most circumstances, I don't know why you wouldn't get
and then out the other nostril, flushing
and
out.
you can get waterproof shit. If you got dogs, it doesn't scratch it up.
Sleep, snore less, and stay healthy.
It could look just like wood. I mean, I realize some people want real hardwood. I get it, but...
At Navage.com, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Bed Bath, and Target. Navage. Clean nose, healthy life. Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then...
600 points.
See if Mitch Fleury can come on for a simple question on cleaning quartz.
At ZipRecruiter.com/try.
It'll be good pub.
It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of pay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for.
Almost. Over 105 a barrel now. Oh, man.
ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And now you can try
I need to impeach this guy.
Yeah, on what grounds, though? He's
running the cut. Well, okay, what they impeach Trump on?
Russian collusion.
Exactly. That's why they impeached Trump, which never happened. So it's like, okay. I believe it big time. What's blowing my mind is no one goes to jail. They need to at least find a low-level fuck and throw him in jail. I know we ain't throwing Hillary in jail. I won't even pretend that happens.
Nixon got the black guy thrown in jail.
Did he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Those guys walk, man.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK. Silverleaf Mortgage for your reverse loans. Silverleaf, that's 720-REVERSE. 720-REVERSE. You know, I love reverse loans under certain circumstances. These are great people that will help you. Silverleafmortgage.com. 720-REVERSE. Now, I'm going to take Mitch Fleury from the Art of Granite on a text question we have. Text question here. Okay, Mitch. White quartz in the bathroom has red hair dye on it. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Is quartz porous where it's sunk down inside it? They can't get it out. They tried alcohol. They tried, I don't know. They tried everything. What do you think, Mitch?
Tom, quartz is non-porous. Therefore, that should not be a stain inside of the quartz. That
Really?
has all that resin that it's mixed and made with. It shouldn't allow any fluids or any liquids to soak inside of the countertop. Usually in kitchens and bathrooms, just a mild soap and water.
Really?
Sometimes us fabricators, we would use something to scrape away. Sometimes whatever we spill on a countertop and it dries, it leaves
like a mild abrasive. Are you talking about a mild abrasive?
Like a fine sandpaper?
No, not a sandpaper. That's very abrasive. We don't want to use that. Rather a like a scraping blade, like a razor blade, but that should be used very gently. Kind of not using the corner of the blade, just the side of the edge of the blade, right? Just being very careful with that. Sometimes we use that.
Okay, so are you saying that if it's quartz, it should not sink in?
It should not sink in.
What about quartzite? What about quartzite? Isn't that a difference than quartz?
So, yes, there's a big difference. This so-called quartz is an engineered stone, right?
Okay.
Ground granite and natural quartzite, and they crush them and they apply this resin and pigment, the color, and then they make these slabs. But the natural quartzite, that's quarried from earth, just like granite and marbles and travertines, and that is also a porous material that should be sealed, just like granite is. So quartzite, natural, quartz, man-made.
Okay, but are they both kind of sealed? Quartz and quartzite, are they both sealed as far as the surface?
So the quartzite is porous, should be sealed by the fabricator, by the installer,
okay.
Which we do when we complete this project, usually in a house. But a quartz, this man-made engineered stone, doesn't require sealer because it has so much resin.
I get it. It seals automatically when it's put together.
Yes, it makes it non-porous. Therefore, nothing should soak in and leave a stain behind. So, do they have a quartz or a quartzite installed?
That's what I don't know. I'm seeing a photo here, but I don't know. And maybe I'll send you a photo. But here's the deal.
Okay.
I no matter what it looks, it's not coming off. So it's either stained on the surface, or it is down a layer or something. So it might be that it wasn't sealed properly when they installed it. Who knows?
Either that or maybe it's a manufacturer defect. Maybe it's porous like that, even though it shouldn't be. So they need to find out really what product that is that they got.
Okay.
And if it's a man-made quartz, they should find out the brand. And they can reach out to us. We can help them look into the warranty, the manufacturer's warranty, and we can
that's good. That's great. TheArtOfGranite.com, where materials are wholesale, and they will give you a price on the phone, 303-386-5919. That was Mitch Fleury, the owner, TheArtOfGranite.com. Thank you, Mitch. Appreciate it. All right. Now, Brian, on this car, we're trying to figure out a hook here. He said that he had... somebody bought a car. I think a relative bought a car, and he said that it's a 2012 Fiat, 29,000 miles, but it sounds like it's a piece of junk. The owner clearly knows. He said he wouldn't have sold it. So now that it was sold, rather than saying, well, it's a mistake, if he's the owner, he can undo it. Did you ask him that?
I asked him to buy it back.
And what did he say?
He said, sorry, no can do. He offered a goodwill. He did offer a goodwill. He had his guy, some guy that runs an indie shop, Honda, Subaru independent repair facility, look at the car, agreed that the transmission was cracked and leaking. that it definitely needed replacement because it was welded shut and welded to the engine. And then the owner of the dealership, Justin, offered a goodwill of $450 towards the repair, which the only written quote I've received is the $15,000 repair bill.
Well, I would take it somewhere other than a dealer to get a repair bill. But truly, if it has 29,000 miles, even though they're not great cars, I mean, I don't know what else you do if you don't repair it. But they saw these people coming, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, is there any recourse? That's really what.
Well, what is the recourse? I mean, you bought it as is. I would say, well, I can't tell you if there's there are attorneys that might sue on it, but then you're spending more money than the car, and you don't get attorney's fees. So, you know, what good is it? Really, what good is it? I'd rather you take the money and fix the car, and at least have something. It's
so
really
arbitration. It'll fail in arbitration. Is that your opinion?
Who's saying that you can even arbitrate it? They don't have to go to arbitration. I mean, you know, you can't compel them to do anything unless they want to. The only thing they have to answer to is a lawsuit. Listen, it's really bad. And especially if this guy told you that he knew that the car was a piece of junk and he wouldn't have sold it. Well, if he said that, then I don't understand how he justifies selling it.
Well, you know, and that was his claim, is that he was unaware of the fact that this car had been misrepaired and welded.
Oh, well,
shut.
that's different. That's totally different. Totally different. He's not saying it shouldn't have been sold. He's saying we didn't know it was that bad, and that is exactly what his defense is. Because if they don't know about it, they don't have to disclose it, especially with as is.
Yep, that's his.
Okay, well, that's totally different. I think you'd lose. That's my own opinion. He's simply going to say, hey, we didn't know this was a piece of crap. We didn't know it. If we knew it, we wouldn't have sold it. That's what he's saying. So
that's exactly it.
Yeah, well, man, this is terrible. It's terrible. But let's try to take some of the sting out of it by at least going to a reputable mechanic. And I'm not saying that dealer isn't, but I'll guarantee you one of our independent mechanics won't be as expensive. So that's what I would do. I would for the transmission. I would go to Kimmer Transmission for the transmission. And for the engine and whatever's wrong with it, I'd go to Sheridan Autotech. There you go. I gave you two recommendations. Kimmer Transmission and Sheridan Autotech. And I really hope, honest to God, that you can get something out of it. Call us when you do that.
That's so sad.
Available everywhere on our free iHeartRadio app. #1 for music, radio, and podcasts, all in one. Now, Impact Traffic. This report is sponsored by Blindster.
We're making progress on the accident northbound I-25 at 6. Now it's just blocking one right lane. We're pretty heavy from the Downing Street overpass. Southbound I-25, a shuffle from Colfax through the merge from eastbound 6. And I-70 is all cleared out across Denver. Eastbound I-270 at top of the brakes into Commerce City. Accident on Bellevue at DTC Boulevard. And we cleared the earlier crash on 38 at Federal. Fox 31 pinpoint weather. Beautiful sunshine. A high today up to 6 degrees.
Do you have Mitch's cell? I want to send him a picture of this countertop. Do you have a cell?
Scattered showers on Friday at 64. Right now it's 64 with your Impact Traffic and weather. I'm Dustin Ritchie, 630.
Looking for a great deal on blinds, shades, and shutters? Save 50% off any order during Blindster.com's President's Day sale. Blindster offers custom wood and faux wood blinds, roller shades, cellular shades, even custom plantation shutters, and they're all 50% off for a limited time. Blindster.com.
Frank Duran, the real estate man.com. That's his website. Frank will list your home, sell it for more and faster than the market average. In fact, far above. He has stats to prove it. In his 27 years, he's always outperformed the market. He's been in the top 1% for years. He's a master negotiator, and he can help you get the greatest deal on your home if you're selling it. And as crazy as this sounds, he'll turn right around and help you get a great deal when buying. Whether buying or selling, Frank Duran, therealestateman.com, 303-920-1622. Man, if you're looking for RVs right now, you can get great deals at Century RV. That's just north of the city. I'll give you the number and directions in a second here. They don't have a supply chain problem. They've managed to get a bunch of new ones up there, plus used. They pay great prices on your trade, which means they have a lot of great used RVs as well as new. CentryRV.com. They're building a big, beautiful facility up there for maintenance and a showroom. That's CentryRV.com, 303-453-1111. Take exit 240, which is north of the city, the Longmont turnoff, and go on the frontage road. It's a right off of that exit and then down that frontage road less than a quarter of a mile. CentryRV.com.
Upgrade your outdoor space with JRM Enterprises. Family owned since 1983, they provide commercial and residential landscape maintenance and construction. JRM Enterprises can help make your property look its absolute best. Plus, they're a certified aquascape contractor for all your water feature needs. Let JRM Enterprises create your own personal paradise. Visit jrmenterprises.net to schedule your service today. Don't wait, their schedule for the year fills up fast. That's jrmenterprises.net.
This is not the time to have heating issues. Call Fix-It 24/7 now for help. Hello, I'm consumer advocate Tom Martino. For just $24, get a Fix-It Pro. Diagnose any heating issue. If you have right repairs, they'll credit you the $24. Find small problems now before they become big ones. And avoid supply chain issues and inflated prices. Fix-It 24/7 online at fixmyhome.com.
Bless you.
Yes.
Around the world.
And this is a significant moment.
Whenever it happens, wherever you are, NBC.
Looks like Aurora finally passed that urban camping ban. What are you doing, sweeps?
God, there's so many trashy developments that are popping up.
Oh man, right in front of where my kid works, there's like tents everywhere, man. It's insane.
Every place there's grass.
Even the grass isn't even true anymore. It's everywhere. And it's so cold in Colorado. I've always kind of just been baffled why they wouldn't work west. You know?
I mean south, right?
Anywhere but here.
Yeah. South seems easier to get than west.
Yeah, it does. I think Phoenix, although that can be pretty brutal during the summer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was Wellington Webb years ago. Maybe it wasn't Webb. Who was before our current mayor? The horror-loving mayor. Who was our mayor before?
I don't know.
The horror-loving mayor was Pena was.
No, it wasn't that long ago.
Pena was before Webb. Webb led into this guy.
No, Webb. Pena, I think, was after Webb, right?
No, Pena was first. He did the airport.
And then Webb.
So then it had to be Webb. But he was getting one-way bus tickets for the homeless out of Denver, and it worked, man. We had a bunch of homeless in front of that Montbello store, and man, they all disappeared for 5-6 months. Somehow they all came back. Maybe whatever town they shipped to return the favor.
You're right. It's just these guys. Hellcat says the South has took their ass off curbs in Colorado and it's cheap though.
You know, the other thing is, I don't see any homeless in Castle Rock when we go through. Maybe once in a while, but as soon as they see someone, man, they ship them down the highway. You just don't see it.
I see them over here at I-25 and Arapahoe Road.
And Bellevue.
And Bellevue, and sometimes at Orchard.
Denver.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times, some cities have actually built pretty nice camps, whatever you want to call them, you know, with bathrooms and, you know, shelter. and they don't want to stay there. They don't. You figure if they wanted to stay there, they'd get a job and get an apartment, but they don't. A lot of them don't want to be in one place.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you fix it, man.
I don't get homelessness. I don't get willful homelessness.
Yeah.
I get
mentally fucked up.
I get mentally fucked up homelessness, yes, but if it's just because you refuse to do something.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Renew Home Innovations for beautiful showers or tubs or combinations thereof. A lot of people are ditching those old, ugly tubs and going with a beautiful, big rectangle shower. Glass up and down to the floor, no thresholds to stumble over. You can use a walker or a wheelchair or just, of course, easy entry. Even no shower doors on some. Renew Home Innovations, beautiful showers, American standard. All you have to do is give them a call, and they'll do an estimate, and they can start immediately. RenewHomeInnovations.com, special financing for seniors and for veterans. 303-904-2000 for beautiful bathrooms. 303-904-2000. You can do just the shower area and the tub area, or you can do the whole bathroom. 303-904-2000. Okay, Liz, you want to give kudos to Premier Window Cleaning and Pressure Washing. I love these guys. I talk about them a lot. I'm so happy you called them. Tell me what happened.
My father passed away, and I had to put his house on the market and get it ready to go, and I started cleaning a window, and I thought, wait a minute, I heard about a company.
Yeah.
On Tom Martino Show.
Yeah.
I thought, I'm not doing all this work. They were terrific.
Aren't they good?
I even had someone ask if the house repainted because they washed the outside of the house and cleaned it.
Wow.
So I had windows in and out. I had the house done. They power washed the flagstone front walk, and it looked new again. It was just amazing. They were terrific.
Oh, I'm so happy that we're getting a live testimony here. And these guys, they're young guys, Tyler and Nick. Did they show up?
Yes.
And then they listen, did they do the glass inside the house too, right? All your glass.
Yeah. Everything.
Shower doors and everything. Plus pressure washing. You know, do you mind telling me, because I always talk about what a deal these guys are, do you mind telling me what that whole thing cost?
Okay, the house is like a 3,500 square foot house.
Right.
And they washed the house. They did the windows in and out. They cleaned the driveway, power washed the driveway. They did the front. It
Plus
was
the exterior.
All $800.
Yes. Oh, my God. All for $800. That is amazing to me. Thank you for that live testimony there. 303. Their number is 303-564-5574. Man, what good guys. 303-564-5574. $800 for a 3,500 square foot house. They washed the entire house. They did the driveway, and they did all of the windows inside and out and all of the glass inside. 303-564-5574. And the website is premierwindowcleaningdenver.org. Thanks for that. All right. Robert, welcome to the show. What's going on, Robert?
Hey, Don. I have been arrested for DUI twice in Jefferson County, and both times I have been provably completely sober.
Wait a minute. So hold on. So when they took you to do a test, you were sober.
Correct. I blew a 0.0 the first time,
and they let you go, right?
Correct.
Why are you being arrested? Do you think, Robert?
I'm homeless, and the first thing you find out about being homeless is people don't like homeless people. And anyway, I have to go to court on Friday.
For what?
7th.
For what?
DUI again.
Wait a minute. I thought, hold on. Usually they don't even bother taking you to court if you blow a 0. So what was the latest DUI resulting in a court appearance? What was that one?
I was asleep in my truck in a King Soopers parking lot,
and
I was woken up by the Arvada police, and I failed the roadside test, and I was arrested and taken down to the jail.
You failed. You failed the roadside.
That's correct, and I was completely sober.
No, I get it. I get it. You were tired. They just woke you up. But did you demand a breathalyzer or a blood test? You're allowed to do that.
Well, I refused both. I was pissed off. I said, because I'm on probation. I said, I'm not doing anything until
You're
I
screwed.
talk to
You
an
lose your
attorney.
license, man, automatically. Automatically.
Well, I already did. And that's no problem. I said, I took the implied consent ticket, and I said, that's cool. So 8 months later, they sent me, right on the 21st of December, they sent me a ticket. Now they're charging me with DUI in possession again.
Wait a minute. Hold on, Robert. So this DUI you're talking about was last year?
Yes, but they waited 8 months to file charges.
Oh, I get it. So when you refused, they let you go that night?
Yeah, they wrote me an implied consent ticket and turned me loose because the jail wouldn't take anybody.
Okay,
COVID.
I got it. And then 8 months later, you get the ticket.
Right, and now I got to go to court on Friday, and I've sent all this paperwork, and I took an 8-panel UA test as soon as I was released from jail, supervised.
Do you have it dated?
Yes, I have. I've been on probation for 3 years, and have never failed on UA once.
What were you on probation for?
Possession.
Okay.
Of Schedule 2.
Okay, so Robert, so you have that UA that you took right after you were released by them.
Correct.
How far after you were released? A minute? 5 minutes? An hour? How long?
Within 8 hours.
Okay.
Within 6 hours.
Could that have been metabolized by that time?
No chance. It's completely clean. I didn't have 1 nanogram of nothing. My pee is as clean as holy water, and it has been for 3 years. And I'm still charged with a DUI. And I sent all the paperwork into the Jeffco Public Defender's Office 3 weeks ago. Sent it in 3 times now, and I still haven't heard from them.
Well, if your court date's Friday, just bring all that and show the judge. It should be a no-brainer.
Can we get Joe Lazzara on real quick to talk to him if we can? Let's try. Hold on a second. I want to try to get an attorney on to talk about this.
I mean, if he's got all that.
In holy water.
Yeah, holy water. I bet if he tells the judge that, it might not go over as nice. Speaking of holy water, you know what Pat Robertson said? He said Putin is
he's 98 years old, isn't he?
He is doing what God has told him to do, and he's starting the end of days.
Who said that?
Pat Robertson.
Oh my!
He's starting the end of days.
The Luke was before.
I thought he was like more of one of the sane ones, but he's a fucking knucklehead.
No, as he got older, he got weirder.
It's right here. Putin is compelled by God.
Well, he's saying compelled, meaning
to invade Ukraine and fulfill the biblical prophecy.
U.S.-based representatives available 24/7.
I don't know of any prophecy about the Ukraine.
Ideal home loans for your next ideal home loan. You know, I've talked about. All right, tell me what's going on, bro. Just tell me. No, you can. Yeah, that's fine. Anyway, he was concerned because he thought he had the wrong commercial in. But Ideal is precisely who I need to talk to. And what I want to tell you about Ideal is they do more than just refi and purchase money. In other words, purchase money is where you get pre-approved, and it's like a cash deal. You go out and find a house. They close immediately. Now, you don't need a pre-approval, but why not? It's free of charge. You get an approval before you go out shopping. Okay, they also do refis. And in all cases, you get an interest rate guarantee for 2 years. If rates go down, they refinance you free of charge. Then you get another guarantee. But they also do free second looks at the loan package you have right now in process. Yes, you're not tied to a lender until you close. Ideal Home Loans will take a look and say, you know what? Maybe you're paying a little too much here or a little much here, or we can do this or we can do that, or we can close faster. Whatever it is, you're not tied. Get a free second look from Ideal Home Loans, or call them first, and then you avoid the need for that. IdealHomeLoans.com, 303-867-7000. And speaking of loans, let's talk about a different kind of loan, reverse loans. You know, reverse loans are handy for those 62 and older with equity. They can help you extract the equity from your home in payments to you, live off it in a line of credit or regular payments or a lump sum without ever paying tax on that. And you know what? You almost never, ever, ever, ever end up well, you'll never be upside down, first of all, because it's guaranteed. You'll never owe more than a house. But another thing, The house almost always appraises for more than the loan. About 98% of the time. ApprovalReverse.com. Good people, 303-771-3528. Some other good people I'm proud to recommend, especially in this time of coming up with spring. We'll have some flooding. We're going to have, we've had a lot of damage from fires, surrounding damage. We've had all kinds of property problems. If you have a property problem with a broken pipe, with mold, with asbestos, with fire, with ash, with soot, with water, anything, American Restoration, the company you can trust in an industry that's riddled with liars, cheats, and ripoffs. Go with the people I know and trust. American Restoration, with all the certifications necessary to mitigate and get rid of toxic substances and rebuild, or do as little or as much as you want. 8337-AMREST. You don't just set them free and they rip you off. No, not American Restoration. They do what you need. They do as much or as little as you want them to. AMREST247.com. AMREST247.com.
Are you suffering from chronic joint pain, maybe in your knees or hips? Well, there is a new way to treat
reverse
joint pain.
and forward loan's two different things. Don't worry about it.
No, keep forgetting. Well, they both start with an A and a forget.
Yeah, but I'd rather just
talk
about it.
You were saying, fix her mic. It's something I can't fix on the board. I got to get between her legs where the actual mic processor.
His name is Mark.
Yeah. Yeah, but somebody kicks the mic processor on that side, and so we don't know that it's bad until she's
right
on the air. Yeah, on her side, yeah.
I know, but I'm saying that thing right there that I keep...
Yeah, do you see that there's like 4 that look alike? Maybe 4 or 5 that are very similar. Those are the processors, and the far side is the one that tells it how much to send out. You know how. I didn't forget the word for. I forget what it says on that.
You don't have to tell me. It's
the output. It's the output on that side.
Okay.
And I think that Kelly's in there kicking her legs around. It happens.
Maybe that's why mine was kind of humming this morning. I mean, that's why I plugged in over here instead of here.
Take control of your online reputation. Get your free reputation scorecard at reputationdefender.com. It may reveal negative posts from an ex-employee, upset patients, clients.
Did you yank me again from this fucking email?
I may have done that just recently when we were signed in here, but I'll put it back on. It doesn't matter. I can do it in a split second.
Assistance with your reputation, call 800-401-6681. Our cutting-edge technology helps make your Google search results look their best.
There's always a reason I do it. This fucking thing was pissing me off. I don't know if you know this or not, but it just signed me right on, and I didn't want it to remember my fucking password at all. Just make sure you're never on a public computer. Especially you and me, because that's crazy shit. Hold on.
Orchard is the same game, but new rules. So get out there and win the home you want. Orchard, the new way to home, is a proud partner of the Denver Nuggets. Get started at Orchard.com. Denver's talk station. Online at khout.com.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Here we are, solving problems, answering questions, taking complaints, and making your life just a little easier. Let's go to the phones. Joe Lazzara is a criminal defense attorney we talk about. He does DUIs and other crimes, of course. He does free initial consultations and then charges flat rates. We refer a lot of people to him. You know, Joe, this sounds weird, but this guy said, Robert says he's been arrested 4 times for DUIs and never found guilty. He was always found blowing zeros, let go. But one time he got pissed off, he said, during the pandemic last year. They came up to him. He failed a roadside, and he said he refused the blood test, and he refused the breather, the breathalyzer. So they wrote him up a non-compliance ticket or something, and went on his way because it was during the pandemic. They weren't taking people in jail. So, 8 months later, what do you get through the mail, Robert?
I got a summons to appear for DUI and possession of methamphetamine. And I was completely sober.
Okay. Wait a minute. Why did they come up with methamphetamine just out of the sky? I mean, where do you come up with that?
It was in my vehicle and not on me, not on my person, or so they said.
Okay, so were you busted for, hold on, you were busted for a DUI because it was in your vehicle. Well, you would be busted for a DUI in your vehicle, right, Joe? Even if, like, an open bottle was in there or not?
Well, not necessarily, but obviously you could get busted for the possession charge, and then the DUI or DWAI, what the officer is determining is that he's affected by alcohol, drugs, or a combination so that he's substantially incapable of driving or affected to the slightest degree.
And he refused to take his test, so now he is now facing trial or facing a hearing. And what was your question, Robert?
Well, my question is, immediately when I was released from jail, the first place I went to...
How many hours later were you released from the time you were picked up?
I was in jail about 6 hours, and then I got out, and I took a supervised 8-panel urinalysis the same day. As fast as I could walk from the jail to someplace where I could take that test, I took it, and it came back completely clean. I was completely sober, 8-panel, not 1 nanogram, nothing in there.
Can he use that? Can he use that in his hearing?
In the criminal case, yes.
Okay, and that's what you're up against, right? The criminal or what, Robert?
Well, both. The biggest thing is the DUI. I have to drive for a living, and I got this thing pending, and I'm homeless, and I can't get a job. But I was sober, so how can you be charged with a DUI and be sober?
Because you failed the roadside and you failed to take the test.
Well, I understand I get an implied consent ticket, and I've had that, but I'm eligible to reinstate on April 10th, and then they waited 8 months to charge me, so now I'm going to be convicted of a DUI when I have been on probation for 3 years, and I've never once failed a UA. I mean, I'm completely clean, and the dope wasn't even mine.
Well, they never popped you for possession, did they?
Well, they're charging me with it. They said they found it in my vehicle and it wasn't mine. I mean, I can tell you that, but it's true. I mean, if I had meth on me and I'm
I get it.
For 3 years,
Hold on, man. Hold on. But you are going to be popped with possession.
Yeah, I'm charged with it.
Do you have a defense attorney, Robert?
Well, I got the Jeffco Public Defender's Office, but I haven't even. I sent all my paperwork in 3 weeks ago, and they haven't even assigned an attorney yet to the case.
All right, hold on. We'll have to call Joe back because we need to bring you back up and talk about this, Robert. I don't know what you do. I don't know if there's anything you can do. It might be too late. Let's talk. Coming up.
Okay, that's done, by the way.
So I had to reach out to her customer, which I sent her, which I'm fucking regretting now. But anyhow, I said, look at the top where it says link, and they just emailed me back, oh, I see it now. It was in my spam. Just signed it. And she's telling me your fucking link doesn't work.
Well, it starts with a quality window or door, yes, but I'm here to tell you that preparation, installation, and finish are exactly.
And then Daphne puts, oh, I told him to check spam. So I guess when I told them to check it is when they checked it.
Hey, man, sometimes, women's voices aren't heard.
KRFX HD2 Denver. KHOW Denver, an iHeart radio station, available everywhere on our free iHeart Radio app. #1 for music, radio, and podcasts, all in one.
CDC is saying.
ABC News, I'm Victor Appenda. A massive Russian military convoy is pushing closer.
CDC is saying kids should be banned.
Zelensky says the latest casualties include at least 5.
Because why?
Because there's something about
was hit by a Russian missile.
The vaccine's
The
not
International
effective
Criminal Court
with them.
now investigating Russian actions as potential war crimes.
Well, they just said they can get the vaccine. They're just fucking pandering to the teachers union.
I know.
The laziest fucks ever.
Now, electric Mercedes. Everything's going electric, man. They're all. There wasn't one regular car.
President Zelensky also being
advertised on the Super Bowl.
Thanking the U.S. for its support, but also underscoring the need to stop Russian aggression as the Russian invasion of Ukraine intensifies. President Biden is getting ready to deliver his State of the Union address.
I'm going to get Kelly selling this week.
Houston, Texas are dropping their district-wide
Good.
Starting today, masks will no longer be required for students and staff. Kat Dominguez has children at Houston public schools. She thinks it's too early to get rid of masks.
I think that they should keep it a little bit longer. I feel that a lot of the students tend to be a little careless at times, and that does put others at risk.
Global uncertainty is continuing to affect the price of oil and gas.
This tow truck driver in Southern California, he has to fill up at $5 a gallon.
Ooh.
Right now for $30, it's $120. Oh, $150. It hurts just about.
That's pricey.
That's unbelievable.
Price of regular unleaded of 8 more cents in the pack.
It's 8-year high across the country. 8 years.
Yeah, it's still pretty good.
That's 4 years of Obama, 4 years of Trump. And it was still cheaper than it is now. Under Schmucko.
Yeah,
And he could simply turn on the Keystone right now, and everything would fucking go away. But he just won't do it.
I could have been late telling my doctor, but I didn't wait. They told their doctors and found out they have atrial fibrillation.
Get back to fracking.
About 5 times more likely to have a stroke. If you have one or more of these symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness, this is no time to wait. Contact your doctor.
Brought to you by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer. When it matters, companies need more than just a delivery service. Cintas delivers full service and the reliability that comes with having a dedicated Cintas service rep who understands your business, which means they deliver confidence and peace of mind too. For uniforms, cleaning essentials, mats, first aid and safety supplies, and fire protection services, bestow the personal attention you get with Cintas. Oh, all right! Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
KHEL News Time, 12:03. Colorado Congressman Jason Crow is weighing in on the situation in Ukraine. Crow says that Russian President Vladimir Putin thought this would cripple NATO, would sow discord and dissent, and further break apart the alliance. But in fact, the opposite has happened. We've never been more unified. The Western world and Europe is coming together. We're saying, we have to stick together to fight for democracy. We have to stick together to fight for freedom. And that's exactly what's happening. Crow says the Ukrainians have done a good job of not only communicating inwardly, but also communicating outwardly to the world. The congressman says people are seeing this televised war and its devastation and how evil Vladimir Putin is.
700, almost 800 down.
A Mesa Ridge High School teacher who used a racial slur in the classroom. District officials say Navy JROTC instructor Brian Goff used the N-word while discussing the Super Bowl halftime show.
Who did?
I didn't quite catch the name.
I wish I knew who he was talking about.
This report sponsored by Blinds.
Pretty easy drive around Denver as we look forward to our lunch hour. We cleared out the accident north on I-25 at 6. We're still on.
It started with a J, but that's all I.
Was it a local?
I don't know.
I-70 is all clear both directions through Denver. Eastbound 270 just a tap of
Hey, it was-
Summer City. Then we have an accident on Bellevue at DTC Boulevard. Fox 31 pinpoint weather. Beautiful sunshine for 4 days. Today's high around 66 degrees, and it could reach 70 by Wednesday afternoon. Thursday we'll see a few clouds move in. High still over 70. Average showers on Friday. Right now it's 64 with your impact traffic and weather. I'm Dustin Ritchie, 630 KHEL.
Looking for a great deal on blinds, shades, and shutters? Save 50% off any order during Blindster.com's President's Day sale. Blindster offers custom wood and faux wood blinds, roller shades, cellular shades, even custom plantation shutters, and they're all 50% off for a limited time. Blindster.com.
Frank Grant, the real estate man, can list your home and he proves to get more money and faster results. He also shines on the buying side. with a team that actively searches out the market for the very best deals and then negotiates an even better deal.
This is not just a job or a career to me. This is my passion.
Frank Duran with Remax Alliance.
26 years of proven credibility.
Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. 303-920-1622.
The nefarious murder plot, a jealous brother, and the most secretive nation on the planet. Big Brother, North Korea's Forgotten Prince, is the podcast that dives into the motives behind the 2017 assassination of the oldest son of North Korea's first dictator, Kim Jong-il.
In North Korea, as in the mall, it's business. It's not personal. When somebody challenges you, that challenger must be eliminated.
Listen to Big Brother, North Korea's Forgotten Prince on the iHeartRadio app.
Why would they have talks after this? What is Russia going to say? Okay, never mind. I mean, they're never going to agree to just walk away.
Follow Public and Response on 630 KL, Denver's talk station.
You know what I mean? Like, what are the talks about? Their surrender, I would think. Putin's not going to talk and say, okay, well, what are they going to agree to? We go back to the way it was? He's not going to agree to that.
No, he's not.
So they're going to have to give up something they don't want to. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Now, Tom Martino.
Hey, I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-8255. Waterpros.net will get you the great water at the lowest prices, like whole house softening units under $2,000 for better laundry, better skin, better plumbing. And it's computerized, low maintenance, and does not add salt to your water, by the way. Waterpros.net. Also, water fountains for never buying bottled water again under $1,000 fully installed. Waterpros.net. All right, let's go to the phones. Joe Lazara, attorney at law. You know, Joe, DUIs are so hard. What's the general rule? We have a guy who refused the breathalyzer and the blood test. What happens when you refuse that?
So you're given an express consent affidavit, and it gives you 7 days in which to request a hearing. If you don't request a hearing within those 7 days, the license is automatically revoked on the 8th day for at least a year. If you request a hearing, you're given a temporary permit and the right to have that hearing and contest it. But with refusals, for a first refusal, it's a 1-year revocation. You would be eligible for a probationary license after 2 months of no driving, but you're looking at carrying that interlock for 2 years.
Okay, so he's upset because he got this months ago, and he refused. He got the ticket. He waived the hearing, therefore should be reinstated soon, and instead they issue him a DUI 8 months later. That I've never heard of such a thing.
Yeah, that's a little bit more problematic, that even with COVID, that he didn't get the notice for the DUI for 8 months. The only thing I can think of is if they were looking at the methamphetamine, which if it's a felony charge, a lot of times that case would then be transferred to a detective. Detective does a little investigation. They may wait for the suspected meth to actually be tested, and then they submit charges or filing of charges to the DA, and that's a slower process on these felony cases.
Okay, all right.
That's the only thing I can think of.
So, Robert, were you charged with a felony, or were you charged with what?
Yeah, so it's a felony charge, possession under 4 grams apparently. But the thing is about Tom, back to DUI, I did submit that, go to the hearing with the DMV, and the DMV sided with the cops, even though I have a urinary analysis that proves I was sober that day.
All right, well, then that's already decided. Then you were eligible for reinstatement, right?
Right. Well, yeah, that's what they said, 2 months, but they still won't give me the license back until April 10th. And I don't understand that either. Because I thought, they said I was eligible for reinstatement after 2 months, but they won't let, I've given them all the paperwork they asked for, and they won't reinstate me until April 10th. And I don't understand that either.
Well, here's the deal, too, though. You're facing a possession charge, which, in my opinion, is very serious. I mean, you're on probation for something else, and now you're facing a dang possession charge. Are you going to go back to jail?
Well, I don't know. I go to court Friday for it, and I still haven't heard from the Jefferson County Public Defender's Office. I don't even know if I have an attorney assigned to the case yet, and I don't feel like I'm being represented properly. You know, I mean, I see this as being arrested twice for DUI in a year and being completely provably sober both times. That's false arrest, isn't it?
Well, it's not false arrest when you refuse.
The 4 grams of meth you had?
Yeah, you failed the sobriety test, man. You keep forgetting that it wasn't without probable cause.
I was dead sober, and I can prove it. And it wasn't on me. It was nothing.
I'm not saying you were drunk, but Joe, isn't failing a sobriety test probable cause for them to take him in?
So yeah, the officers are looking at driving, they're looking at behavior, manual dexterity. Did the person do roadsides? Did they fail those roadsides? That's usually sufficient to believe that you're under the influence of alcohol, drugs, or a combination of alcohol or drugs.
You did just the opposite of what you should have done. You could have said, I demand a breathalyzer right now or a blood test and not do the roadside.
But I did the roadside and failed and went to the cop shop and did a breathalyzer and blew a 0.0.
No, not this time. No. You refused. I'm talking about the time you refused. Don't confuse things, okay?
Okay. No,
the most recent one you refused. You shouldn't have refused it. If you were stone cold sober, you shouldn't have refused it.
But I was on probation, and they wouldn't let me talk to an attorney before. I didn't want to do anything before I talked to an attorney. And it was 6 o'clock in the morning, so they just cut me loose with an implied consent ticket.
Joe, what is your advice as far as refusing?
Well, you do not have the right to consult with an attorney prior to making that election. If you're sober, do the test. Refusing just makes it so much more difficult. The only time people ever really refuse are when they're heavily intoxicated and they have multiples.
Yeah.
Otherwise, these are severe.
I mean, truly, if you do not have anything in your system, why wouldn't you want to just prove it? Why wouldn't you? Why would you want to complicate your life this way?
Well, because I was completely sober for one. I was on probation.
Okay, Robert, and that's all the more reason to prove that. All the more reason. You're not giving me a reason why you refused. You're giving me a reason why you should have taken it.
The reason why is because they said they searched my vehicle illegally and they found methamphetamine in the vehicle and it was not mine, and I think they planted it.
You think they planted it? Oh, we can't help you, Robert.
Because I have a prior. I'm homeless and I have a prior.
I know.
You know.
I know.
So,
but I
what's
think
the motivation? I don't know.
I think who did the meth belong to?
I don't know. It's not mine. It was in the vehicle. They said.
Robert. I don't think Joe. Sounds like he's watching too much TV, but he doesn't have a TV. Do cops plant meth that you know of?
I'm sure it happens rarely, if ever. But most cops are very good police officers. They're honest. They're going to be straightforward. They're doing their job. It's a difficult job. They're not going to plant something like that. They're not going to risk their career and their jobs for that. In this case, he may claim that he doesn't own it, but if he's in the vehicle and there's drugs in there, that's possession.
And Robert, you'd have to have both cops going along with this, and I think that's going to be a terrible defense. I don't know what you're going to do, man. I just think it's stacked up against you, Robert, and I guess there's a reason why evidence does that. I'm not making a judgment here. I'm just saying we can't help you, bro. We cannot help you. I mean, there's nothing else to say. We can't help him. 303-713-8255. Joe, and by the way, Joe Lazzara, he takes on all kinds of cases. But, Joe, what would your advice be to this guy right now, though? You heard his whole story. What would you do right now if you were him?
Yeah, I mean, a couple different things. With regards to his license, he's probably not turned in all the paperwork. He still has to do a written test and a driving test to get his license back. So he needs to make sure DMV has that. In the criminal case, he's going to show up. They'll have a public defender there. He has the opportunity to get the discovery. His court date will take a couple different court dates. But the fact that he did a test afterwards to show that there's no drugs in his system is good for the DUI case. there's going to be body cams and videos. He'll have to look at that, but yeah, I would assume they'll have some type of plea negotiation in his case.
All right, thank you. Joe Lazaris, 303-429-6200. 303-429-6200. Free initial consultations, then flat rate pricing. We have more coming up.
I just had too many fucking hang-ups. There's no way the cops are going to... I don't think the cops would plan shit.
No, I don't think so.
I don't know. I mean, I have my doubts about them sometimes, but I don't know if they would just out plan.
I think he's playing.
Unless he's been a problem up there and the cops say, we really want to get this guy out the street. But I agree with Joe. I don't think that the police are going to plant drugs in the car.
For a homeless guy, risk their career.
Yeah.
If you want to sell your house, you can go the conventional way.
And you can sell and then get some money and close quickly, but or get a sale quickly. It takes a while to close. If you want to check this week, Homevestors, and I'll give you that number because they buy houses. Now, you may say, I'll never get what I want, but here's what I always say. Who cares if you call, they come and they don't give you what you want? Say no. You're not obligated, so call them. 800-44-BUYER. They've purchased more than 3,500 homes, I think, in the Denver metro area. So, hey, if you have deferred maintenance, you don't want to fix it up, you don't want inspections, you don't want loan approvals, give them a call, see what happens. 800-44-BUYER. That's 800-44-BUYER. HarrisFamilyLaw.com. You know what? We like talking about great law firms, and Rich and Lisa Harris formed this firm to help people get through a divorce with the minimal damages, minimal anger, minimal expenses. What I mean by that is they do collaborative law, which gets the other party to agree not to file anything. They talk everything out. And they've really been quite successful at it. They have more than 25 attorneys, 25 years in business, 250 years of collective experience. They've handled more than 8,000 cases. Think about this. They have the experience. By the way, they'll do bundled or unbundled services, meaning they can do the whole thing or any part of your divorce. 303-515-5000. HarrisFamilyLaw.com. 303-515-5000.
So many people have told me about Orchard, and no wonder. It's the new way to sell. For example, Orchard makes you a cash offer for your home.
Between an easy home sale or the best price for your home. Let me tell you about Rudy, a recent Orchard customer. Rudy's home sold on the market for $33,000 above his cash offer. Had he gone through a home buying company, would have missed out on that extra money. But with Orchard, he got more cash at closing. Rudy's story isn't unique. 99 out of 100 Orchard customers sell on market for more than their cash offer. Getting started is easy. You go online and enter your address at orchard.com. Takes just a couple minutes and lets you skip home listing hassles. If you're thinking about selling or just curious what Orchard will pay for your home, get a no-cost, no-obligation offer at orchard.com. That's orchard.com.
It's replacement window season. If your windows are drafty, difficult to operate, or costing you money on your energy bills, it's time to replace them. Champion Windows is here to help. Right now, Champion is offering buy 2 windows, get 2 free. Champion builds their own windows right here in the USA. We make the process easy. We help you choose the best design options for your home. We then build your project in our very own factory. Our install team manages your project every step of the way, and it's all backed by our lifetime guarantee. Turn your house into your dream home with more livable space in a new Champion sunroom, or enhance your curb appeal with new siding. Now 30% off. Don't wait, this sale won't last long. Buy 2 windows, get 2 free, and 30% off summer siding. Plus, 60 months low-interest financing options. Visit ChampionSaveNow.com to schedule a free annual estimate today. All discounts apply to our regular prices. Select product apply. Minimum purchase requirements subject to qualifying credit approval. Cannot be provided by Amazon offers.
Homeline Services can help with a low-cost $21 whole house electrical inspection. Homeline has been serving Colorado since '98 and added a new location up north, serving Boulder, Longmont, and more. Schedule online, plumlineservices.com. No phone call, no hassle, no wait. Plumlineservices.com. Service at home. Servants at home. Plumlineservices.com.
Can you ship out that order to the branch in Savannah?
Yeah, it's got bananas.
No, Savannah! Savannah!
Yeah, I'm looking for that jewelry.
You know, maybe instead of giving everyone their own personal blenders to make smoothies in our desk, they should have just ordered food through Easy Cater.
Oh, sorry, Joe, I can't right now. You gotta ship that order out to Savannah.
Some food just doesn't make it work. Easy Cater just does. Food for work, on time, and as ordered. From over 82,000 restaurants. Order 24/7 at easycater.com.
Do roller coaster stock markets make you nervous? With such frequent ups and downs, don't let market volatility derail your retirement. Hi, I'm Linda Gardner, host of Your Money, Your Retirement, Saturday on 630 KL. If you're concerned about the markets, call today to schedule a comprehensive review of your portfolio. Call 720-488-8604. That's 720-488-8604. Or online, yourmoneyyourretirement.com.
Hi, this is Dan Patrick, and here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network, presented by Mercedes-Benz.
Broncos head coach Nathaniel spoke with the media on day one of the NFL Combine. The Avalanche will go for their fourth straight win in tonight's tilt with the New York Islanders. Colorado women's basketball center Quay Miller was named the Pac-12 Sixth Player of the Year. And meetings between Major League Baseball and the Players Association continue after the league extended the game cancellation deadline into today, following yesterday's progress towards a new CBA. Jenny Catherine.
The compact GLA proves it's not the size of the SUV in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the SUV. Learn more about the nimble and ready-for-anything Mercedes-Benz vehicle at MBUSA.com. MBUSA.com. Mercedes-Benz.
You know what? There are some doctors saying that there's no way that those injuries to Bob Saget's head could have been done by a fall.
So they think someone cracked him.
They said it was either a baseball bat or someone falling 20 or 30 feet.
Wow.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Tracy, what's going on? We have plenty of time for calls. 303-713-8255. Lied to, cheated, ripped off. Call us. Hey, Tracy, what's going on?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. What's going on? Well, I don't know how that happened.
Hopefully she calls back, Tom.
Okay, you have a follow-up, Sue?
I do. I guess while I was out of town last week, there was a Dave who called who got kicked out of a facility for having an erection.
Yes. Now, let me explain it. He went to an ED clinic that does radio wave therapy. The radio wave therapy bombards the penis and the blood vessels and opens them up, supposedly, to give you more blood flow. However, during the therapy, you put your penis in this thing, and it pounds it, and it sends waves through it, and it pulsates. Well, during this ED treatment, he got an erection every time he did it. So finally they said to him, we don't want you to come here anymore.
Yeah.
Because they thought he was a weirdo. To be honest with you, we don't know what was going on, but it sounded strange to us. And Deputy Smarty Pants looked into it.
That's right. He did, and I guess he and the caller are not allowed to say anything on the air, so I am, that they have reached an agreement and a resolution.
Yeah.
What that is, I'm not sure.
Well,
but
the guy's
they have reached a
satisfied.
resolution.
The guy's satisfied. I think he got his money back. I mean, and well, he should, if they, or at least his money back for the treatments not rendered, because he paid for all of the treatments up front, and then he did not get all of them because they stopped. So, is this guy eager for that kind of attention that he signed up for this clinic, hoping that he'd get prodded and probed? I don't think so. I don't know. But it sounded weird because why would you go there anyway if you're getting an erection already? And he said he was trying to improve things. So that sounds weird, but it was a true story that we took on. Our number, 303-713-TALK. Tracy, are you back?
I'm here, yes.
Let's talk about your mailboxes. What happened?
So they were damaged.
How?
I guess thieves, they busted into the community here on the apartment complex. They were left open to the point that the post office said, we will not deliver mail here anymore. We're going to keep all of the residents' mail here at the post office. You have to come and pick it up.
God, this is the third complaint. This is the third complaint we've gotten on the third day, three in a row. But I want to know if they're all the same. Is this where the poster, the guy broke the key in the lock or something?
No.
Okay. You know what? This has happened, and I'm wondering truly if this is all being made up because they don't have enough deliverers, so they're making people come to the post. We've gotten 3 different neighborhoods with the same story. This is a congregate mailbox, Tracy?
It is, and it was damaged. I mean, you could see that they were busted, wide open. They're not closable. Like somebody came through and tried to break into the boxes, and you could see the damage. Oh, okay. Okay. Man, this is happening a lot then. And it's going to be a month or two, they said you have to go pick up your mail, right? Well, they told us the post office posted a notice to go get your mail there, which we are. Well, there's a new notice that says that the post office cannot get a hold of our apartment complex manager, and so now they're going to start returning all of our mail to sender. Wait a minute. Well, what difference does that make? If they have it at the post office for you to pick up, what difference does it make to them if they can contact your people or not, your apartment house? I don't know, unless the apartments are responsible for replacing the mailboxes, not the post office. I don't know. Well, maybe they are, but even if they are, what difference does it make if you guys go pick up your mail? Well, I don't care. I know. Why would they send it back to the sender? That's the part that doesn't make sense. I can see where they get pissed off for having to hold the mail, but I mean, so what? Have to sort it and put it in different boxes? Maybe they don't have the facility to do that. How many mailboxes are in that congregate box? Maybe 30 to 50. I don't know. Yeah. They're probably saying, oh, my God, this is way more work for us. So, well, here's my issue, because we can go pick it up. That's fine, whatever. But we talked to the postmaster, and he said, we cannot get a hold of your property manager, and neither can we. So finally, I texted. The only way is to text. I texted her, and I said, I'm going to get a post office box, and I'm going to take it out of my rent because they're going to return all of my mail. And she said, you can't do that, and you have to pay your rent, and she won't respond. I said, well, how all right, give us the text. She won't respond. I'm going to have Sue's text her. Give us the text. Say, look, this is unacceptable that your refusal to contact postal authorities or to have your bosses contact them is resulting in mail not being delivered, and this you can have liability in this, civil liability. If somebody misses an important piece of mail, you can have some civil liability here. So what did she say? Yeah. Is she going to call the post office or not? She won't answer any of my questions. She just said, you cannot not pay your rent. Yeah. You get take that out of your rent. You can't. You can't not pay your rent, and it's not a habitability issue. We have to figure out a better way to do this. Listen, we need to call them and scare the hell out of them, okay? That's what we have to do. Hold on a second. We have a comment here from David. David, go ahead.
Hey, Tom, how you doing?
Good. What's happening?
Man, I work for the post office, and I'm one of the people that goes around and changes the locks and the boxes, and I just turned your show on, and the apartment buildings are responsible to replace the mailboxes.
If they're destroyed?
An apartment building and HOA.
Yeah.
If they're destroyed, there's a lot of times we will try to fix them, but if I can't fix it, it's the apartment building's responsibility. We run into this every day. I've got mailboxes where the doors are falling off because the complexes refuse to replace them. And the dang complex,
they're not even answering this place. That's why we have to research who the owner of this facility is. Suze, I would text this woman and say, listen, we need to get a hold of the owners of your building. This is a serious liability issue. That woman has a number she can text. Tracy, you have that number, right? I do. All right, hold on. We'll give you to Suze to have her text her. And thank you, David. This is a big problem. It really is. And I totally agree that apartment house should be more responsive. And we'll get a hold of the owners directly if we have to. If we have to do an O&E on the building, we can find out who owns it with an address. So we'll text this woman. If that doesn't work, maybe we'll have Frank Duran do an O&E where he can find out who owns it on the county records. Alex, what's going on with you, Alex?
Hey, Tom, I've been divorced for 3 years. Last December, I did a parenting modification to try to get overnights for my son. We had court in October, and the judge keeps doing a continuance. So it's been 4 months, and since October 17th. Is there a deadline for the judge to give out a resolution? Or
now, wait a minute. Hold on. Did he already hear the case?
Yes.
Okay. So now
the judge said, yeah, we're just waiting on what the judge is going to determine. But it's been 4 months.
I get it. You already had a hearing, though, right?
Correct.
Okay. Was it telephonic?
No, it was in person.
Oh, wow. Okay. And who's the judge?
Oh, it's down in Pueblo.
Okay, never mind. Okay, so let's find out. And it's been, how many times did he postpone?
4 times now.
Okay. And what does your attorney say, or don't you have attorneys?
I don't have an attorney. My ex-wife does.
Okay. And is your wife just as frustrated?
No, she's happy.
Oh, because she has it the way she wants it.
Yeah, I'm trying to get overnights, and I'm trying to get a reduction in child support. So, I mean, she's happy that the judge hasn't came up with a resolution.
How long ago was the hearing?
October 17th.
Yeah, that's unreasonable. That's a long time.
I go to the clerk. I go to the clerk. The clerk can't give me an answer. I called the judge's clerk, and she can't give me an answer either.
Let's find out from one of our attorneys. We'll check with either Rich Harris or Bonnie Shields on what to do. Hold on. We'll figure it out. I'm Tom Martino.
This is Denver's Top Station with Michael Brown in the morning and Dan Kaplis in the afternoon. 630 KHOW, Denver. Now, Impact.
This report is sponsored by Dell Technologies. I-25 is all cleared out through Denver right now. Westbound I-70 sluggish through the construction through the ditch. And the westbound I-76 ramp to southbound I-25 has been reopened after a closure for pothole repair. Roadwork westbound I-270 was slowing between I-70 and Vasquez. We've got a crash northbound University at Bedford Ranch Road and an accident on Bellevue at DTC Boulevard.
The dog.
Fox 31 pinpoint weather, sunshine, and we've already hit our expected high for today, and we could reach 70 on Wednesday. Thursday, a few clouds move in, the high is still near 70 degrees, and then scattered showers on the way for Friday at 64. Right now, it's 68 with your impact traffic and weather. I'm Dustin Ritchie, 630 KHOW.
Sometimes it feels like the world is throwing everything at you. Dell Technologies advisors have the Windows PCs and tablets you need to navigate whatever you're up against. Call an advisor today at 877-ASK-DELL. A start to a simpler experience with Windows 11 Pro.
Have you called them yet? Retirement Planning Center of the Rockies? You should. They're not a one-trick pony. They don't take care of just one thing about retirement. They oversee your entire retirement plan. So you may have an investment advisor, or you may have someone for your estate plan, for your will, your trust. You may have someone for a reverse loan. You may have other people. But Retirement Planning Center of the Rockies, first of all, they look at your whole plan to see you're not duplicating things. Then they try to get the most for you out of your services. If you are curious about what they do, call them. They'll talk to you free of charge, no obligation. They'll meet with you even. They'll come to you. You can go to them. Or you can do it by Zoom. And they'll do it and answer all of your questions. They take a comprehensive approach. It's a father, son, and son-in-law team many years of experience. And this comprehensive approach includes taxes, Social Security, Medicare and supplements, insurance, annuities, long-term, short-term, estate planning, whatever you need to make your retirement successful. Now, you can start planning at a younger age, or if you're getting ready to retire, rpcenter.com. They're totally transparent on how they charge or where commissions are built in. rpcenter.com. Call them. You'll like these guys. I'm using them. 970-663-3211. 970-663-3211. rpcenter.com. And, as I said, estate planning, very important. BlakeHarrisLaw.com. He was on our show a few times today helping us with issues. And you can get his help at BlakeHarrisLaw.com or 833-ASK-BLAKE. He doesn't charge for answers. He'll answer all of your questions. He only charges flat rates for what he does in your estate plan. If you need a will, a trust, payable on death certificate, whatever you need, 833-ASK-BLAKE.
Welcome to me casa, Catherine.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Repipe specialist. They can repipe your whole house in 1 or 2 days, so no more leaks or low water pressure. And then they'll offer to fix the hole so it's ready to paint.
You want water? Yes, but
Yeah, I would love one.
John?
Yes, sir. Thanks. Thanks.
And then offer the option to complete the job by repairing the drywall.
Oh, frustrating, isn't it? Ought to cover that hole with a Monet.
Call 303-228-2910 for a free in-home estimate. Pay nothing down with no payments or interest for a year. That's 303-228-2910. Call today. 303-228-2910 or visit repipe.com.
Have you ever felt depressed about work, only to have your dad be like, why are you so down? So you told him you hate your job, and he said, well, you better talk yourself out of it. And then you thought, I'd love to talk about a podcast. And then you went to Spreaker from iHeart and started a podcast and got good at it, then monetized it, then quit your boring job and told your dad, thanks for the advice. And he was like, well, that's not what I meant, and I don't understand what a podcast is, but you seem happy, so that's great, kiddo. You ever do that? Well, you could. That's Spreaker.com. That's Spreaker. Ask your dad. He actually did.
Thank you. There you go. Major.
Which gives you the strength of a candy bar. At Ideal, first they listen, then they lend. IdealHomeLoans.com, 303-867-7000. What's done more to improve overall health and wellness? Modern medicine or personal hygiene? Actually, it's both. But considering that bathing went mainstream in the 1800s and brushing your teeth in the 1900s, isn't it time for something new, like cleaning your nose? After all, your nose is the body's air filter for trapping dirt and germs, the first line of defense against allergens, bacteria, and viruses from getting into your lungs. But how do you clean your nose? With Navage. Navage isn't medicine, it's more like plumbing. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril to the very back of the nose where germs can get trapped and multiply. And then out the other nostril,
think they run broker
mucus and microbes. So
hey, Shannon, do they run broker shows like weekend shows on iHeart app, or you don't know?
And easy to use Navage is. At Navage.com, Walgreens, CVS.
That's I don't know, isn't it?
Target. Navage.
Tune into the movie. They have to have like their own. They have to be like Saturday afternoons at 3 and Sunday mornings at 9.
Hi, it's Mandy Call. Join my friends Gary Bell and Brad Pollock for the Bell and Pollock Legal Show right here on KHAL every Saturday morning at 7. It's a live call-in show to give Coloradans like you free legal advice on any topic you'd like to discuss with them.
Denver's talk station, 630 KHAL.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Get your calls in. We have another hour and a half to go. Alex, you filed a modification for child support and parenting time. You filed it back in October of 2021. No. Bonnie Shields.
No, December. I did it in December last year.
Sorry, September.
But we didn't have our hearing till October of this year. Or I guess, 2021.
Hold on. There's no October of this year, so let's go back. You filed September 2021.
Correct.
And you had your hearing October 2021.
Correct.
Okay.
No.
And now...
yeah.
Alex, we really can't go on until we at least know what we're talking about. So why don't you just tell us what dates? I don't want to put words in your mouth. When were the dates?
No, you're right. You're right what you said, Tom.
Okay. You filed for a modification in September of 2021. 1 month later, you had a hearing, but you have yet to hear a decision. The judge has rescheduled 4 times. You're getting frustrated because you need to know what's going on. Bonnie Shields is an attorney at law. She is a family law attorney, BonnieShieldsLaw.com. Bonnie, what do you do in a case like that? If a judge is just waiting and waiting and waiting, and he's looking for a modification of support based on increased overnights?
Okay, so a couple questions. There's no way you filed a motion to modify and you got a hearing a month later. So I'm assuming you really filed in 2020 and had a hearing in 2021?
Correct. December, and then October is when we had the hearing. I did the paperwork December, and then I had the hearing in October.
Wow, it takes that long? Hold on. It took almost a year to get your hearing?
Correct.
Okay, that sounds... Okay, so go ahead, Bonnie. Thank you for clarifying that.
Was this in Douglas County, by any chance?
Pueblo.
Pueblo County.
Oh, Pueblo. Okay. They have some extra requirements in Douglas that sometimes make the process slower. So anyway, so in Pueblo, so what, it is unusual. I tell you, I don't practice in Pueblo, but up here, what the judges do is either they rule that day after the attorneys write it down or order the transcript. That doesn't happen very often. Most often, they set a time in the future where they get everyone on the phone and they rule. It sounds like maybe that's what they did in this case, but they keep canceling the date and saying, well, we're not ready to rule yet. Hey, let's just do it in another month. Is that what's happening?
Correct. So the hearing was October. The judge said that he would have his final decision in a couple days. Well, now it's been 4 months. And every month he keeps putting a continuance on it.
How does he put a continuance on it? What does he actually do that makes, is it just that you don't see anything, or is he filing a document saying, I need more time?
Yeah, that's what he's filing, because I go to the clerk's office and I ask the clerk and they look at my file and then it says that the judge filed another continuance in another 30 days.
I've had, this problem absolutely comes up. So what I've done when it's extreme, and I would call this extreme if he was going to rule in 2 days and he hasn't even ruled. So what you do is you call down to Pueblo and you ask who the Chief Justice is.
Ooh.
There'll be a Chief Judge. I've only done this twice I've been doing this almost 20 years. But I will tell you, I reserve it for cases where really it's ridiculous. And you write a letter. I write a physical letter that gets mailed physically. There's no emails to the clerk, to the judge, and say, hey, I filed it in December. It took 10 months to get a hearing. Judge said he'd rule in 2 days, and every month when I check with the clerk, they say the judge has asked for another.
Will that chief judge get on his ass?
All I can tell you is I've gotten some response out of the judge that's been slow when I've done that.
But does the judge get pissed off at you?
Yeah.
Well, that's my worry. That's why I've only done it twice.
Yeah.
So I've reserved it for times when, hey, I got to do something because my client deserves an answer now. And so you're not worried about really ticking the judge off too much because hopefully you're not in his courtroom all the time like an attorney might be. So, and make the letter very polite. Hey, I would really like, it's now been so long since there's been a change in overnight, and this still hasn't gotten changed, and can you help? Can you help? And put it like that. Very nice, very polite, nothing mean or anything like that in there. Keep it nice and polite, and send it to the Chief Justice for whatever county that Pueblo is in. The clerk answering the phone is going to know who the Chief Justice is and get the mailing address, and that's what I would do.
Now, I have a curious question, Alex, and that is, what was it before? What is it now? What were you asking to change? How many overnights? What was it? 60, 40, 30? What was it?
No. So right now I have visitation, or I see my son from Fridays from 2 to 5 and Saturday and Sundays from 12 to 5.
And you have no hold on. You have no overnights at all.
Just Christmas only.
And you're asking for what? 50-50?
I'm asking for Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday night.
Every other week or every week?
Every week.
Why were you so limited in the beginning? That's a curious situation.
Because of the job that I had, I worked for the post office, so I'm a truck driver.
Okay.
When we got divorced,
no, enough said, Alex. Enough said. It was your hours. I get it. Your work hours. So, okay. So another thing, how much would it reduce your child support having just those overnights?
So from what they said, if I was able to get those 3 nights, it would basically more than half, about almost 3/4.
Almost 3/4 reduction?
Just for those 3 overnights.
No, somebody's giving you incredibly wrong information. Alex?
Isn't 3 nights basically almost 50%?
He might be right, because that's approaching 50%, and anytime your overnights are 103 or more, it changes everything.
Okay. All right. Alex, hey, listen, that's why I'm not family law attorney, right? So listen, Alex, here's the deal, man. Write that letter in a polite way and see. And by the way, Bonnie, isn't it a high standard you have to modify parenting time? Like, don't you have to have a high standard?
For parenting time, the new, whatever you're asking for needs to be in the best interest.
Oh.
It's much harder to change decision making. That's a different standard.
Okay, what's the standard for decision making?
In order to change from like one person from having joint to where you get all decision making, you have to show generally show some form of endangerment.
Okay.
You have making really horrible decisions.
Okay, but that's not the case here. All right, thank you very much, Bonnie Shields. You can reach BonnieShieldsLaw.com. She's also on our referral list, referralist.com, or 303-798-1927.
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com.
I-25 all cleared out through Denver, westbound I-70, still sluggish through the construction, down through the ditch. Roadwork westbound I-270, slowing between I-70 and Vasquez. 2 right lanes are closed for a bridge inspection southbound Kipling and I-70. We have an earlier accident on Bellevue at DTC Boulevard, and construction eastbound Bowles at Platform. Also roadwork northbound Wadsworth. Fox 31 pinpoint weather, beautiful sunshine. We've already hit our expected high for today. We could reach 70 degrees on Wednesday afternoon. Thursday, expect a few clouds moving in, but our high temperature is still near 70. And scattered showers on Friday. Right now, it's 68 with your impact traffic and weather. I'm Dustin Ritchie.
Like right now, can you take a plane and just fly to Ukraine?
I don't think so.
You'd be fucking crazy.
Yeah, you could fly close to the border.
Remember, it wasn't long ago Russia shot down a passenger jet last time they were in Ukraine, or Crimea, or wherever it was.
FixMyHome.com. That's where you can
read about the company I trust for plumbing, heating, cooling, electric, and drains. FixMyHome.com. The name of the company, Fix It 24/7. Now with a reduction of prices, which is hard to believe. I mean, it should be hundreds of dollars for what they do with your furnace and air conditioner. They go through the entire thing with an extreme clean and adjustments and a no breakdown guarantee. And nowadays, with the supply chain shortage for parts and for new units, it is something well worth The mere $24 to get your system checked. That's your furnace for $24 or your AC for $24. That's an incredible price. It was $39, and that alone was a loss leader. They just want to show you what they can do. It's for new customers only. They want to grow their customer base and show you what they can do and save you from the pain of supply chain shortages. FixMyHome.com. Find out more. Just $24 for Extreme Clean, Adjust, and Check. That's $24. 720-526-3939. We just talked to Bonnie Shields, who gave us advice, and, we go to our experts for advice, and for personal injury advice, we go to John Fuller, Fuller Law. I want to tell you something about John. You can call him right now. If you're injured in an accident, you take care of the scene, all that. He advises that you get names, takes pictures, notes, but here's what he says. He'll give you free legal advice if you call him 303-597-4500. Explain the accident, what happened, how it happened. He'll talk about your chances of recovery and what, as far as collections and who to go after and whether you need him or not. He'll be honest. No obligation to hire him. And if you do, it's on contingency. And here's the great part. He has a small firm on purpose because he wants to give you full attention. He gives you his cell phone number and keeps you up to date. You're not just a number. 303-597-4500. John Fuller, personalinjuryco.com. Somebody else who gives you personal attention, in fact, you're going to end up being his friend. He has so many people that are just friends with him right now as a result of being customers. And I'm talking of none other than Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. By the way, he's doing right now, in addition to listing homes and selling them at record times, record amounts, with stats to prove it, he also helps you buy. But he does this thing, which is really important. If you're just thinking about listing or moving out of town or maybe upgrading, you want to know if it's worth it, he'll tell you what your house will sell for based on this market, based on his 27 years of experience. It's a complimentary valuation of your home, 303-920-1622. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com.
Did you know your ugly, cracked, stained, embarrassed
actually earn you money? I'm Larry Green of System Hater, America's #1 designer and installer of elegant outdoor living systems. This spring, love your home again and turn the old hardscapes into big savings with our free demolition and instant recycling package.
I'm surprised at how many California natives are here in Colorado.
And you'll save like never before because they'll demolish and remove your old...
You're what now?
No, I'm just surprised at how many California natives are here in Colorado.
You're one of them.
Yeah, I know.
Were you born in California?
Born in Los Angeles. Woo! In L.A. proper. Oh. Yeah, Los Angeles County General Hospital.
There you go.
Okay, that's a done deal.
I think I was one of the last babies to be born in there. Well, within a year or so, They gave it over to USC when it became County USC, and then all of the births started coming out of Kaiser.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's a crazy place to be. I hated even going in that building after I got grown and went back to the building. It's like a giant mummy and more.
Wow.
That place is crazy. With all these different 3-inch colored lines on the floor, following the different departments.
Right. Yeah, I've seen that in hospitals before. Follow the yellow one. Follow green.
This is interesting.
You can unlock more cash than you realize from your home's equity with a cash out refinance today. In the last year, average home values have gone up nearly 20%, and with Rocket Mortgage, you can unlock thousands of
It ain't big enough for 3.
So when you're looking to unlock the cash in your home,
Talking about Fresno and golf courses.
Rocket today or go to rocketmortgage.com to get started.
Last time I was in Fresno, I think I was maybe 20 years old. 21 maybe.
And a while ago.
Yeah, we were driving up to San Francisco to a friend of mine's wedding.
News is happening now. Look at what's making headlines around the world.
And this is a significant moment.
Whenever it happens, wherever you are, NBC News.
The green screen, huh?
On NBC News Now.
Don't be that person who says it's an after. Hi folks, Dan Shapiro, over there at Kitchen for Bags, Rivers Doors. Simply put, we make people happy. In particular, just like you. 800-363-83.
Later tonight, President Biden delivers the State of the Union address.
With a split screen while we watch
That's
the
right.
Ukraine get blown to bits.
Commercial free, followed by the Republican response on 630 KHOW, Denver's talk station.
Hi, Tom Martino here.
303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Very interesting article I read about Bob Saget's death, and here's what they said. A bunch of doctors were weighing in on this, on Bob Saget's death, and what they said, it was really amazing. They said that if you think about it, if you really think about it, the neurosurgeons are the worst to diagnose the death of someone from head injuries because they almost never see massive head injuries. They always see people who they can save, people with tumors or people with slight injuries. People with massive head injuries never see neurosurgeons. They're dead at the scene. They don't see people who fall from a tower. They don't see people who get clubbed with a baseball bat. They see people who literally are, how do I put it? They see people who are just savable. That's a good way of putting it. And with Bob Saget, these same doctors were giving an idea of what happened. And then there were other doctors, trauma doctors, who say they're wrong. Trauma doctors say the amount of injuries that Bob Saget had were far beyond a normal fall. They said injuries like that come from a baseball bat or a fall from 30 or 40 feet, not on the floor. You fall down and hit your head, even if it was on a stone fireplace. So that's weird, huh? And they're not saying he was clubbed by a baseball bat and obviously didn't fall 30 or 40 feet, but they're saying it seems incomplete that some neurosurgeons are saying, you know, they're weighing in on fractures they never even see. Isn't that interesting? I never thought of it that way. And trauma doctors are disagreeing. Anyway, we have another hour to go on the Troubleshooter Show. We're going to talk about what Americans are spending money on. And then we have a very important thing to do. We want to give away some Akita puppies to very special families only.
Delve into the case of the 20...
The Akita puppy pictures.
There you go.
Don't you need a pup?
No. No.
When someone faints and they fall backwards and hit their head, totally just smashes it. It's not even close to these injuries.
No, I mean, it doesn't mean... No.
But why isn't anyone fucking investigating it? They're basically saying...
Oh, well.
They're basically saying
to tell everyone
that this guy...
Our story hours for kids and our amazing lattes. Now we're busier than ever. I'd call that a success story.
A custom radio ad from iHeart Ad Builder is the fast, affordable way to drive.
The green screen.
Green screens.
Get started now at iHeartAdBuilder.com.
This guy says These half-baked medical opinions published in the Times about Saget's death, which point without evidence to the possibility of no foul play, are stupid. They don't even consider foul play.
Well, don't you think the cops would see foul play?
Not if the doctors say it came from a fall.
Yeah, but the cops and the ambulance are going to be the first ones there,
and they rely on the medical. They rely on the medical examiner.
I mean, he's just pretty high profile. I would think all those bases are covered. I'm not saying if it was some homeless guy and he was found next to a dumpster or something, shit's over a miss, but
I'm just
Bob Saget.
Yeah, I know, but they're saying he probably fell down.
Yeah, he whacked his head good, man.
He's saying most everyone there has experienced. They're just saying basically it's trauma docs that see this shit, not neurosurgeons.
During his first State of the Union address tonight,
or forensic docs.
Getting past the pandemic will also be key issues. This is ABC News. A new poll showing most Americans are back to normal after COVID restrictions, but there are some who are still weary.
7 months ago, in July of 2021,
Neurosurgeons never see patients with devastating injuries.
A new ABC News Washington Post poll said they
Not
had
compatible
returned to
with
their
life.
pre-pandemic lifestyles.
People never make it even to the hospital.
Right back inside.
Declared dead at the scene.
Or a little over half of those
Then they come to us,
return to the way things were
pathologists.
About a quarter of all adults say they are somewhat back to normal, and 16% say they have barely or not at all resumed their pre-pandemic activities.
ABC Sherry Preston. Testimony continues in the trial of former Louisville police officer Brett Hankerson. He was holding up the state charges centered in the 2020 police raid that killed Breonna Taylor. Hankerson is charged with wanton endangerment. Major League Baseball's opening day is still up in the air. The deadline for players and team owners to reach a deal.
Oh man, why says the police don't care, Mark? They're busy protecting Krispy Kreme.
Confirmed what the medical community has known all along. Non-contact thermometers are not accurate. The study also reports that they fail to meet.
So how long you gotta be here to be from Colorado, Hellcat?
Oh, wait, now there are some people saying to be from would be being born here. No, there are some pathologists saying that it absolutely could happen from a fall. So there is disagreement. It's just, nobody fucking ever agrees with anything. Do you know that?
Yeah, but didn't they do an autopsy?
Yeah, I think they did, yeah.
So I would think most pathologists should be able to look at the autopsy and make sure everything makes sense.
Yeah, but they're disagreeing, but he's saying the ones disagreeing didn't see it. Didn't really see it.
Does your body, once you're croaked, does it metabolize anything? Like if you did a bunch of coke?
That's how they tell time. Well, I don't know about that. But they tell time of death by food and digestion and the blood settling.
But like, does the alcohol eventually?
Temperature.
If they test you for alcohol a day later,
I don't know.
Because they said he didn't have any drugs or anything in his system, but yet he'd been there for a while.
Fuck, how sad is that? How fucking sad is that? Just
The judge sealed the autopsy photos, or the crime scene photos too.
Yeah, that's because they would have been all over.
I know it's but usually that's a pretty big ask, man. I mean, you don't have any rights when you're croaked, you know.
Attorney General Phil Weiser is suing 15 companies tied to firefighting foam, which
yeah, you have no rights when you're dead. Zero.
That's right. No left either.
You can't be slandered. You can't be slandered. I can
you can say anything
I
about
want.
a dead guy. That Disney.
I think that's an oi thing.
Oi?
Mm-hmm. You hip to oi?
What is an oi?
Mm-hmm.
I think she's Laotian.
Oi person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's in charge of our social media stuff.
Oh, oi.
Love oi.
Yeah, what were you asking about?
Joe had become the bankers, asked me for some help on pushing his Sunday show out as a podcast. So I'm giving him, really, I already told him you should just use, I sent him the link, Tweaker, because Tweaker will send it to All the big ones, it's like $20 a month.
Yeah, but so there's another one that's really good too. Really good.
Well, the good thing about Tweaker is it's owned by iHeart. So if I can get the weekend people to upload it to the iHeart, everything would be automated. They don't have to do a fucking thing.
Discover exceptionally common sense.
There's a bunch of them though that'll send it out everywhere, man. It's a lot cheaper than people think. It's getting the listeners. That's all it comes down to.
Yeah, there's millions of podcasts. I mean,
I'd say there's a billion.
I listen to podcasts that I can't even fucking believe anybody would listen to.
I listened to one this morning driving to fucking bumfuck Egypt to see the doctor.
But the audience is so splintered. How the hell they get business?
Hey, Mark.
You got to be into.
Hellcat says you can vote though when you did.
It's Nishcat.
Only Democrats. Genre. Okay. Hey, you just made me think of something. So you harvest a ballot. Okay. So, and let's say it's done.
Mark, that's what Talib's.
Nothing sneaky. Talib goes and gets from his neighbors in his complex, whatever the fuck.
Only from progressives.
From older people that vote his way. Gets 10 ballots.
Right.
I don't have, as long as they're all legit. But what happens if one of them dies? Is that vote supposed to be counted if they fucking turn it in before the election? I don't know the answer to that.
That is an interesting question. And Tom's side cut there, I don't know what's inside those ballots. I don't know how those.
Yeah, because they're sealed in the envelopes.
Care how they voted. Okay. All we say, anybody need us to pick you up, pick up your stuff, and drop it in the box.
That's different than knocking on the door and going, hey, you need to get this ballot here filled out.
Exactly.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Hello, I'm Tom Martino. Welcome to the show. We are here to help you solve problems, to answer questions, to take complaints, and to make your life a little easier. Get your calls in at 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Now, let's talk to Sherry. Sherry, by the way, took her 2010 XF BMW, I think it was, needed a diesel particulate filter. Schamberger's German Motors. She is a student and assisted for a reduced price, and then she was all pissed off. Sherry, describe the problem you had, because Sue's called over there.
I have a call and a text into him to see if he would come on and talk about this, Tom.
But Sherry, so what did he do? You say he screwed it up and then said, come get your car, right?
Yeah. I took my vehicle. I had my vehicle towed over there.
And he screwed it up. Let's just say he screwed it up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, that's we don't have to get technical, and it's not even drivable, and he wants you to get out of there, right?
Yeah, he wanted me to come and pick up the vehicle.
Well, but you say it's not drivable, right?
No, the oil pan is busted from him. Having it hoisted in the air, and he put one of the jacks that's for the motor mount.
How much did you pay this guy?
That was $484.
Now, if we call him, will this guy say that he did $480 worth of work and he deserves to be paid, or will he admit he did more harm than good?
He did more harm than good.
Will he admit that? Does he think he did a good job?
I don't know, because he asked me not to even take it initially when I was going to get it towed away. He said he wanted to fix the repairs, the damage that he caused, and that he was going to pay me my money if he didn't fix it. And then he changed all that when he threatened me to come and pick up the vehicle. He said he was only going to give me half back. And he didn't even make
half of the 484,
which he hasn't. He hasn't put anything back in the Cash App, and my vehicle, it can't be cranked on because there's no coolant in it and there's no oil in it.
I got it. Okay, how many miles on this Beamer?
I need to look at it. It's like 100.
Okay,
all
right.
About 100.
Was it a piece of junk when it went in there, or was it in good shape?
No, I haven't. I have not. My vehicle just came from the BMW dealer. I always took it to the BMW dealer.
But how
for
do you know it?
repairs.
How do you know it needed a diesel particulate filter?
Because I just took it from the BMW dealer who told me that's what it needed.
Okay.
And so
how does the guy
to
screw up a car that much? You say he basically damaged it.
We never hear about this guy, do we? I've not heard any complaints on this outfit, Tom.
Yeah, not really, but I don't know. Where is he located?
Wait. Is it this tiny, like, little blue house-looking building?
Yep.
How do you know that, Mark?
Well, because
Mark, how do you know that?
I pulled it up and looked at it. I mean, it looks about as sketchy as it gets. That's not saying he messed anything up, but, man, it doesn't even resemble an automotive shop.
Is his name Schamberger?
Yeah.
What a hell of a name. Schamberger. Kind of like rip-off muffin. I mean, no, sham. It's a sham burger, like a nothing burger, a sham burger, a rip-off steak. I mean, what's the sham burger's first name?
Let's just try to call the guy.
Is it Rip Schamberger? No, what is it? What's his first name?
His first name is Corey.
Corey.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I have another number, too, that I don't know if
All right, hold on. Let's make sure. Let's make sure Suze gets that, man. This is terrible. Now, I said we were going to give away some Akita puppies. Now, this is a really important thing. I want everyone to know this. We don't give away puppies lightly. Neither do the breeders that contact us. Heavenly Kennels first contacted us with this idea. They had some beautiful dogs, Goldens, that they wanted to give to a first responder, right, Suze? And then they did it a second time, I think. But
they're giving that one away next week here in studio.
Good people, Heavenly Kennels. Well, then another person called us and said they would love to give away to a first responder or an essential worker of some kind, like a nurse or doctor or trauma, something like that.
Trash pickup folks, grocery
All right.
workers.
They will decide if you're an essential worker, if you've given a lot. Now, here's the only caveat or requirements, I should say. You can't have another dog. It's a puppy into your home. And it's an Akita puppy. They're the cutest little puppies. And they're really beautiful dogs, by the way. But apparently they don't get along with other dogs that well. But they rather it be the only puppy and the only dog in the house. And that you are somehow an essential worker or, you've contributed during the pandemic or you help people. Yes.
They're 9 weeks old right now. It's 2 boys. And they have they're up to date on their vaccinations, Tom, and ready to go just about here.
And who is it that wants to donate these?
They're new referral list members, LEM Landscape.
LEM Landscape?
LEM is in Mary.
LEM.
Yes.
Okay, LEM. Does it say LEM or is it 3 letters?
I think it's LEM Landscape.
Okay, LEM Landscaping. So listen, we're not going to give both to the same household. So it's 1 puppy per household. So we have 2 households we can do this with.
These things, they actually would track and hunt bear and wild boar. I mean, that's really the origin.
But what wonderful dogs they are. They look so elegant and, oh, man, they're regal looking when they're older. Yes.
Tom, anyone interested or has somebody they want to nominate, help at troubleshooter.com or call us at 303-MARTINO and leave us a message.
Right, 303-MARTINO or help at troubleshooter.com. Now, listen, this is not these are expensive dogs, okay? So, I mean, this is a chance to get a world-class dog. I mean, this breed is rare to begin with, and to get a male pup free of charge to a good home. And this, I'm telling you, this is not a small thing. These dogs are not cheap. Yeah.
Did you see their pictures, Tom?
Yes,
They're
yes,
adorable.
yes, I know.
They look like little bears.
I know they do. They're really adorable. And are you putting them on our video feed there, Talib? Thank you. Yeah,
they're already there.
Very cute. Goodness gracious, those are the 2 little boys. Anyway, let us know, and we'll give them away. After we do an investigation, we want to make sure, of course, they're going to good homes and that you are so-called essential. I mean, everyone's essential, right? But he'd like to reward a police officer, an emergent EMT, paramedic, nurse, those people. Of course, They will bend the rules a little for someone essential who has given their all during the pandemic. LEM Landscaping. And we're going to give one Akita puppy. They're both 9 weeks old, 2 boys. And, okay, there's one other requirement. You got to call one of them Tommy. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. You don't have to do that, all right? You don't have to do that. We have more coming right up.
Have you ever felt depressed about work? Only to have your dad be like, you told him you can't get a job, and he said, well, you better talk yourself out of it.
They are
Thought,
cute. I just Googled them.
and then you went to Spreaker from iPhone, started a podcast and got good at it, then monetized it, then quit your boring job and told your dad, thanks for the advice. And he was like, well, that's not what I meant, and I don't understand what a podcast is, but you seem happy, so that's great, kiddo. You ever do that? Well, you could. That's Spreaker.com.
God, I got 2 Zooms today. Holy shit.
Biden's prompter.
What's that?
BecomeTheBanker.org.
That is a strategy for investment. Here's what it does. It gets you a life insurance policy that you overfund on purpose. That means you pay more than the premium on purpose, and that extra money goes to a cash account that grows tax-free. It's a little-known benefit the government gives you when you buy insurance. It allows you to overfund it by a certain amount. When it grows tax-free, you have this cash account you can use through your life. You can borrow it to buy a car, then pay yourself back. You can borrow it for other things and pay it back. Here's the deal. That's why they call it Become the Banker. The idea is to pay it back with even more interest so you accumulate even more money tax-free. Then in retirement, you're the banker and you get it as income and no taxes. BecomeTheBanker.org for more information. BecomeTheBanker.org for more information. And speaking of finances, maybe it's time you refinance your home because you can't go wrong with Ideal Home Loans. Why? Because no matter what rates do, if they go down, they got you covered, and they will refinance you free of charge. If they don't go down, then you saved money, right? If they go up. So get a hold of them now. IdealHomeLoans.com, 303-867-7000. Ideal also has other things that benefit you, like pick your own term loan. So let's say you're into a 30 or into a 15. You don't have to go back and re-ratchet from new. You can take whatever term you want in between. They also have, of course, credit optimization, which is after you're approved, you may say, why do I need that? Because they tweak your credit to make it better so you can get even better pricing. IdealHomeLoans.com. And they'll take a look at whatever loan you have in process if you haven't closed yet to see if they can do better. Yes, you're not tied to them. You're not tied to any lender until you close, so let Ideal take a free second look. IdealHomeLoans.com, 303-867-7000. BlakeHarrisLaw.com is what a great resource for estate planning. You can call him if you're just curious and have a few questions. He won't charge you. 833-ASK-BLAKE. He only charges you if you have him do something, and he'll quote you a flat rate up front. Like, for example, if you have a will, he'll quote you depending on your circumstance, or a trust, payable on death certificate, whatever it is. First, ask your questions free of charge. That is BlakeHarrisLaw.com, 833-ASK-BLAKE.
Welcome to Mi Casa, Catherine.
What are you trying to get out of me, Hellcat? Just type in here Marcus King.
Oh, I see.
But only on the day Suzanne says you can be.
That's pretty good.
Oh, pretty good.
No payments or interest for a year. That's 303-228-2910. Call today. 303-228-2910.
And this is like way behind.
Is it?
There are lots of places to get national news. But for the local stories that affect you most, count on Newsbreak's new email newsletter. Right now, listeners of this show will be entered for the chance to win $1,000 when they sign up for Newsbreak's brand new email newsletter at iHeart.com.
This thing's all the way back at that last Water Pros commercial.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That's several minutes, several.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in an haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/try.
Interesting to see what Suzanne has to say.
Which Suzanne?
Our Suzanne. She talked to Corey Schamberger.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
His name is Schamberger. That's a hell of a name.
Mark's, it's like this little blue house. And
Did you look it up?
No,
I will.
You saw it yesterday.
Yeah, I saw it.
Dude, it's like, it doesn't even look like a shop.
It's a house.
It looks like, at one point, people lived in that thing. There is no doubt about it.
He lives in it now. He just goes out and works on the back.
How much time? Okay, so what's a good name for a fund? You know you're not allowed to name a fund with a promise, like, for example.
Get rich?
Yeah, or you can't say, I wanted to go way over the hedge fund.
Gold
I
fund.
thought it was a funny name.
Way over the hedge fund?
Because of
That's
that
pretty
movie.
good.
They won't let me.
Wow.
Surround your pets with care.
I wanted to do it because it's a play on them.
Yeah, no.
So, that's why they all have boring names, I think. Hi, Tom Martino here.
Here, 303-713-TALK. Yvonne's got a comment on Akita puppies or Akitas. What's your comment, Yvonne?
My only comment is that you really have to think about before you consider adopting, or I guess it would be adopting because they're not charging you. But anyhow, they're expensive to keep. So
How are they expensive? How you mean any dog, or do you mean Akitas in particular?
Well, the larger dogs, because larger dogs eat more dog food.
That's right. You're right. That's absolutely true. What else?
They have bigger poops, so you have to clean
Right.
up bigger poops.
Right.
And they're a dog that needs a lot of exercise. So
That's true too. It's a it's a responsibility and an expense, and then vet bills, of course.
Right.
That's like a horse. Not like a horse, but with horses, when I hear a guy say to me, I want to buy my daughter a horse, do you know any cheap horses? I say the worst thing you can do is buy a cheap horse, because you'll resent when you have to buy expensive shoes, expensive vet bills, expensive vaccinations, expensive dental work. I mean, saddles, tack, board, food. I mean, so if you're going to invest, in a really sound, good, and it doesn't necessarily mean expensive, but they are usually more expensive than broken down old horses. I mean, I love broken down old horses. They should go out and pasture and live, but I mean, you don't want to invest a lot of money in them. But you're right. When you take on a dog, we will consider that with the families for sure. They have to know what that responsibility is, and thank you for bringing that up.
Tom, I also had a lady call.
Thank you, Yvonne.
I don't know if you've heard this of Akitas. I don't know if it's true. Lady says that they're really only meant to be a one-person dog, too.
You know what? I heard that, but I wish we could get the guy on that breeds
them.
them.
They didn't want to come on.
Well,
I could
come
try
on.
and get them on tomorrow.
You ought to ask them as a favor to us or get an Akita expert. If they don't want to come on, let's get another Akita expert on, because I think people should know what they're getting into. That's a great idea. So Yvonne sparked that idea. Thank you, Yvonne. Suze did talk to Corey.
I did.
Corey Schamberger, which is that's like Oops Construction. You remember that, Mark? That construction company, they named themselves Oops. Who would hire a company called Oops Construction? Oops.
Ouch Dental.
And yeah, that's like Ouch Dental. And Schamberger for a mechanic. What are you kidding me? That's I just like call it the rip-off cake. Okay, anyway, so what's going on, Suze? I want to bring up Sherry. Sherry said he screwed up her car. She simply wants to get her car, get it somewhere else, but she don't think she should have to pay him a dime. What's going on?
So he was pretty offended that she was conducting this business on a radio show and not calling him directly.
Yeah, why didn't you call him directly, Sherry? Why didn't you call him?
When I went over there last Wednesday to get my keys, I texted him and said, because he wouldn't answer the call, so I texted him and said, I'm out front. I need to get my keys. How do you want to do this? He never responded to the text. He never came outside. And to the point where I waited an hour and a half and I had to call the police. The police came and the police told him to give me my keys and that he could not keep my vehicle, that it was illegal, especially since he owed me money.
Well, he said for you and your husband, he said for you and your husband to call him directly if you want to work something out. I mentioned that he had promised something about giving you money on a Cash App. He did not want to discuss it with me.
Call him right now and then call us back if he's not playing ball or not answering.
Yeah, why don't you do that? That would help.
Yeah, he's not responding. That's why I had to go to these measures.
No, but just try right
now. Try right now.
Yeah. You want me to call him through the three-way?
Oh, no, that would be unfair. We can't surprise him on that. Okay. So why don't you call him right now and just call us right back, okay?
Okay.
All right. Just call right now.
This is really getting me upset.
No, I know. So. We're gonna try to work it out. Just you call him, and we'll try to work that out. Okay. So what you do is you call and say, Sue's just said that you said to call. I want to know, what do you want to work out? See what he says. So, anyway, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Now, we're trying to get a Nikita expert, but meanwhile, if anyone knows about Akitas, you feel free to give us a call, because we would love to know what you think or what you have to say about Akitas being adopted out and what people can expect. 303-713-TALK. Now, what else is going on? I'm going to tell you this. I talked about budgeting and finances. Did you know that New Jersey, of all the country, has the highest monthly expenses? Average monthly expenses.
One of the things that drove me nuts when I lived there, you had to have someone else, and I believe it's the same way, pump your gas. It was always full service. In other words, you had to pay extra because apparently us New Jersey morons can't pump our own gas.
Well, they didn't want to put people out of work, and they were really union strong, I think, but it's stupid. Here's the other one. California is number 2. Hawaii is number 3. But what do you think the average cost is? It's not as expensive as I thought. They take into consideration rent. I find it, in fact, hard to believe, because they take into consideration rent or mortgage, utilities, insurance. In fact, I find it impossible to believe, but this is according to the U.S. Census now. Okay, here's what it says. $2,244 is the average monthly nut to crack in New Jersey. Mark, $2,200. I mean, how can anybody have a mortgage? I don't get it. $2,200. I don't understand that. Maybe it doesn't include household expenses. I don't get it. How can it?
No, it sounds like that's probably the rent or the mortgage payment.
It says average. No, it says average monthly bill. I don't know what that means by state, because here's what they say, okay? They say an average household spends $24,000 annually on bills. And here's what they classify as bills: mortgage or rent, auto loan, utilities, insurance, which is auto and health, cable and internet, mobile phone, and life insurance. And a lot of them don't even have life insurance. Okay, by the way, Corey Schamberger, we give always respect to people that want to come on and talk about their business, because we believe they deserve that. And I'm going to go right to him right now and let him have the microphone. Corey, to make a long story short, she claims that she took her car in there and tried to help, and that more harm than good was done, by the way. And she just doesn't think she should have to pay you that $400 or whatever. Anyway, it's on that BMW, that 2010. Go ahead, Corey.
How you doing, Mr. Tom? This is Corey Schamberger, owner of Schamberger German Motor Service.
Okay.
Miss Sherry, I know her from school, Lincoln Tech.
Yeah.
And I'm currently taking up diesel, to get that, and she has a diesel.
Right.
I've been working on cars all my life. I've been in business for 7 years here in the state of Colorado.
Okay.
I ain't never had no issue with none of my customers. But with Sherry, due to the job that she want done on her 2010 BMW was a DPF. Normally that would have cost about $1,200, maybe $1,300 and everything.
Okay.
Just for labor alone. Miss Sherry wanted to work on her vehicle, to try to get some experience as far as diesel.
Right.
Diesel motor and working on auto motor. I said, okay, no problem. I'll be more welcome to take you in and teach you. She said, oh, yeah, I can work on my vehicle at the same time. I said, no problem. If you come in and work on your vehicle, I'll cut you some slack.
Okay.
I'll cut you a deal. I'll charge you half rate,
Yeah.
of what the total labor is for the job, and you just pay me that. She was like, okay, fine. I'm all board with that. So Miss Sherry paid me the $480 for what I gave her, plus a military discount because of her husband.
Okay.
Which was 15%. So they dropped the bill down to like $480
Okay.
if I can remember correctly.
All right.
Miss Sherry came in. We started working on the vehicle. We was there all day. I've been telling Miss Sherry prior to working on the vehicle, this is an all-day process. This is not no easy job. It's a DPF. We got to take a lot of stuff apart. She was like, okay, we can do it. So we worked the whole day. I closed at 5 p.m. I set my shop down and everything, and told her we could proceed the next day with the job.
Okay.
And after that, I ended up getting sick with migraines. I had migraines, headaches for 2 weeks straight, unexplainable. So I ended up going to the VA hospital, getting X-rays, CAT scans, and everything. I'm out of work. I haven't been working. Right after that, Miss Sherry came. Her husband came, and I explained to her my situation and what happened to me. That I was out of work due to headaches that's unexplained. I'm going through CAT scans and X-rays. She said, okay, no problem. Went back to work for a week, and I turned around and caught the flu. I was out for 2 more weeks. I thought I had the COVID, but I didn't. Negative test came back negative, and I only had the flu. I was down for another 2 weeks at that point. I explained that to Miss Sherry. During this process of everything, Miss Sherry and her husband told me, well, due to the fact that you've been sick and you're not able to get to my vehicle, we're just going to go ahead and have the vehicle towed out and to a different shop and let them finish the repairs.
1 second here. I got to ask you something, Corey, real quick here. What about what is this damage she's talking about that you did?
Oh,
the oil pan?
Oil pan.
Yeah.
Yes, the oil pan, and I told Miss Sherry that was my fault. I would replace the oil pan and the coolant line.
Okay.
And I'll put new oil in there and new coolant.
Okay.
I agreed to that, and I told her that I was going to do that. So that was no problem. But due to the fact that Miss Sherry had told me that she was moving the vehicle, that's telling me I no longer have authorization to work on her vehicle. So I packed up all her stuff in her vehicle, and I had it set up and ready to go for tow to her other location where she was taking it. Then Miss Sherry, a week later, going to come to me. I called her and said, Miss Sherry, what's wrong with your insurance company saying you're having the vehicle towed? She didn't respond nor call back. A week later, she shows up and said, hey, I want you to finish my vehicle. I already got your vehicle packed up and ready to go, and I already got customers booked appointments that I got to get to. It ain't fair for my customers that has booked appointments to sit back and wait for me to push them back, because now our current customers done came and said, hey, I want you to start back working on my vehicle. I'm not going to move it. It's not fair to my customer who got appointments already.
Okay, good. Can I ask you something, Corey? For that $484 and all the other discounts, did you actually ever complete the diesel particulate filter, the DPF?
No, sir. She stopped me from working on it.
Okay. So, and then you said the oil pan was messed up. So then that $484, what was that for?
That was the half labor plus the military discount.
I understand, but the job's not done. Does she deserve a credit for that oil pan and for anything else?
I told her. I had told Miss Sherry, I got the oil pan and I got the coolant line sitting at my shop. I ordered everything. I got it there. All
now,
the oil and coolant and everything.
Did she get her car out of there, or is it still there?
No, she had it towed out. She showed up with the police.
Okay.
And had the vehicle towed out. She made up some story saying I was a threat and I wouldn't let her get her vehicle.
So you still have a new oil pan or a replacement oil pan and a coolant line for her.
Yes.
Okay.
I feel like Sherry didn't give us the
But
whole story.
Hold on. What about the particulate filter? Do you have that?
She bought that herself.
Okay,
I packed
got it.
all that
I
back
got
up
it.
and put it in the back of the vehicle.
I got it. Do you think then of the $484 you owe her anything or not?
I told Miss Sherry in an email. I emailed Miss Sherry. I said, Miss Sherry, I understand you want to move your vehicle, no problem. I said, you paid the $484. I feel that since I put some time in on this vehicle that I shouldn't have to give you the whole $484 back. I think is what is fair to me due to I worked on the vehicle already that I give you half of the money back.
I think that sounds fair too. Based on what you said, it sounds very reasonable. Hold on. If you could be so kind as to hold on, I'd like to run that by her because there is another side of the story. Thank you.
This is Denver's Talk Station with Tom Martino.
No, not at all. He's too detailed. He's consistent, too.
And she wanted to work on her own car, so.
I mean, even I'm surprised he would give her half of that back.
Yeah.
Half of the $284 back, because, I mean, he did a lot of work. So $484 was just the labor, and with her helping. And
half the labor, yeah.
Well, that's right.
Right, this is what he made it sound like. Mark, when I was in Newark, and I was filling up my rental car.
In Newark?
Newark.
New Jersey. Yeah.
And so I pull into the gas station. You're right. And I fill it up. And then each of the pumps had a big rock on the sitting on top. It has the person. And they said, well, in case the customer drives off without paying, then they throw that rock at their car.
I believe it.
Learn more.
Hold on, guys. Public Insurance Adjusters
of Colorado. Give them a call for a free evaluation of your insurance claim. That's Public Insurance Adjusters of Colorado. Everyone who has an insurance claim should be calling. Everyone needs representation. Don't ever depend on your insurance company. I know they're supposed to represent you. It's your insurance company, right? You can't depend on them, especially their adjusters. Get your own public adjuster. Unless they're licensed public adjusters, they do not work for you no matter what they tell you. Public Insurance Adjusters Colorado can help you with the fire loss, the fringe loss, the any ice, water, frozen pipes, any catastrophe to your property. Even if a claim is closed, they can reopen it if it's like 2 years old or newer. Have them look at your claim, no matter what it is, to see that you're being treated fairly. It's a free look at your claim, 720-715-0000, 720-715-0000. The website, coclaims.com. If you're in pain, you can rejoice with Colorado Pain Care. You know, I don't say that lightly because I went there. I go there every now and then when I re-injure myself. I've learned physical therapy to keep myself healthier. I've also gotten over chronic pain. They help me with that for good. And then every now and then an acute pain. Colorado Pain Care, they can help you with multiple locations around the Denver metro area. Appointments 7 to 7 for your convenience. As early as 7 in the morning, as late as 7 at night. And multiple locations. And in fact, if you mention Martino, you'll get a stainless steel water bottle on your first visit, 303-GOT-PAIN. But check him out and read about him at coloradopaincare.com. That's coloradopaincare.com.
You know why GiveMeTheVIN.com is America's best car buyer? Because we've made it so fast, so easy, and so darn reliable. GiveMeTheVIN.com.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVIN.com.
Oh, because of how high gas they get it.
Oh.
How much is it here? Actually, you know, it's only it's $365. It's close to what ours is at. at least according to this. I'm trying to remember if they charge you per gallon, then a service fee on top of it, or is it all built into the
It's like the
gallon?
old full service. You know, you pull in and
What's done more to improve overall health and wellness?
$363. I think
Modern
that's what
medicine
they pay.
or personal hygiene.
Unless
Actually,
that
it's
changed,
both. But consider
whatever was on the sign out in front or on the top, that's what you pay.
In the 1900s, isn't it time for something new, like cleaning your nose? After all, your nose is the body's air filter for trapping dirt and germs, the first line of defense against allergens, bacteria, and viruses from getting into your lungs. But how do you clean your nose? With Navage. Navage isn't medicine, it's more like plumbing. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril.
It's expensive to heat out there too, man.
Trapped and multiply. And then out the other nostril, flushing out.
Taxes in New Jersey are the worst.
Oh, they're fucking nonstop. Everything is taxed. And then you know what's even worse? Virtually every fucking road you're on, you pay to drive on.
Oh, yeah.
If you're close to Philly, like if you live in Jersey and work in Philly 15 minutes away, I mean, you could easily... You think E470 is fucking expensive? Try going across that Walt Whitman twice a fucking day. And then all the roads to get to it.
Did your dad have a house in Jersey? Did you guys have a family house in Jersey?
Yeah.
I thought it was New York, upstate.
Schenectady,
And then
Newark,
where?
New Jersey, Pennsylvania.
Where in New Jersey?
South Jersey, Voorhees.
Was it fun?
I loved Jersey, yeah. I had a good time.
Was it pretty?
Oh, yeah.
I think
We were 15 minutes from Philly, man.
I think of Jersey as being a pit.
No, it's pretty there.
Yeah.
Where I lived was in the Pine Barrens, man. We had, like, right behind our house was miles of trees, which is weird. People never think of that in New Jersey.
I know. I used to go to Red Bank, so I got on the wrong freeway and ended up over in Princeton and had to drive.
Princeton's
You know, I did
had
that
to drive
too.
through the forest. It was really beautiful.
I was going to see this friend of mine who lived in Red Bank, and I put it in my GPS, and somehow there was red something. It was over by Princeton somewhere, and I was like hour and a half the wrong direction. We were going to meet for a beer.
Yeah.
Said, "Are you on your way?"
Exactly what I did. Coming across.
Now there's hellholes in New Jersey, man. Camden was so bad, the state came in.
Did you know your old ugly concrete can actually earn you money? It can. During the system pavers.
I'm not sure if it's its own government yet. Dude, they kicked out, like, everybody was so corrupt. The state police came in and got rid of
Tom
everybody.
Martino here,
3-713-TALK, 713-8255. I want to go back to this case right now. So, Sherry, you did hear Corey, right, Schamberger, talk about, I mean, he sounds pretty straight to me, like he had a good, accurate accounting of everything. And if he did put some work into this, like he said, and he's even willing to give half of that 400 something back, I think that's more than fair. And he said he already put the already has the oil pan for you along with the coolant line.
So everything he's saying today isn't true. He
Wait,
emailed
hold on.
yesterday.
Hold on.
And told me,
what do you mean everything is not true? It's the same exact story you told us. There's not one thing different. Not one thing different than you told us.
I didn't tell you about him emailing me, telling me to come pick up my vehicle, or he was going to charge me $35 a day.
You picked up your vehicle. He said it was unfair because he had other customers booked when you said you wanted to get your vehicle out of there. He essentially told us the same exact story you told us. I'm not even worried about that part. I'm not going to go back and forth to each little detail and sentence. What I'm going to say is you both essentially told the same story. And right now, what he is saying is he has an oil pan for you along with a coolant line.
He didn't give it to me when I went to pick up my vehicle. He didn't give me the oil pan or the coolant.
I understand that. Corey, where is... Hold on. Corey, where is the oil pan and the coolant line?
In my shop, sitting on my storage bin.
Okay, why didn't you give it to her when she went to get her vehicle, she asked?
When she showed up there with the police, and the police told me to stay inside, do not make no contact with her or her husband.
Okay. There's your answer.
Outside when the tow man was there.
Yeah, but listen. If you go down there, he'll give it to you now and half the money back. Is it good? Are you ready?
Sherry? He said...
I'm listening.
He said he would refund half the money and give you the oil pan and the oil line and the coolant line. I think he's being more than fair, Sherry.
Okay, well, the scratch across the hood of my car.
Okay, that's
from his
new.
garage
That's
door
new right
opener.
now. Okay. You know what? This is what you call a moving target.
Yeah, she never mentioned anything like that before.
Not one thing was mentioned about that, Sherry. All I can say is this. Please, Sherry, we want to help you. Go get half the money. Go get your oil pan and the coolant line.
Yeah, Corey, put a little release together or download one, or else it's going to be an issue.
And also, Corey put some labor into this thing, man. He put some and he's just getting paid half of that. Go ahead, Corey.
Mr. Tom, I also had stated to her in an email prior to this last email I sent to her, I told her, I said, due to the fact that you are moving your vehicle to a different location, I need you to sign a waiver stating that I cannot be held liable. Anything happened to the vehicle leaving my location. And everything was going to be annotated on the waiver of what I owe her. And when she showed up with the police told me, said, hey, Miss Sherry said she's not going to sign no waiver nor such thing, and you cannot hold her vehicle hostage from keeping her from moving it.
Corey, I would have her sign a waiver.
Well, hold on.
If you're refunding
right now, Corey, listen, I don't think right now it's unreasonable to ask for half the money and to refund half and to ask her to sign a waiver. But now she's adding this scratch on the hood. Have you ever heard of that?
No, sir. I got cameras in all of my bays and on my outside.
Well, then I'm going to have her just have to fight it out because I thought I had a settlement, and then she brought up something new.
Woo, she showed up with the cops, and the cops said, you go in there. I wonder how she pulled that off.
Discredit the powers. I'm not doing them, okay? Don't mark them done.
You know, I
don't
think
mark them done.
The guy has bays behind that house.
I saw them. They don't look like bays, but they're there. I know
right,
they
look like a garage or something. Yeah.
And it sounds like how he broke the oil pan was trying to lift the car up by running a chain around it in a cherry picker, which is like the worst way you can lift a car up in a million years.
Huh.
It is 70 right now in Denver.
Wow. 70 outside.
Looking for a great
I heard we missed some cold days.
Oh,
it was
big
cold in
time.
Vegas. It snowed for a half second while we were there.
Yeah, that half a second it was snowing there, it was -4 here.
It snowed for, like, literally, we were in an Uber just a few flights.
Okay, hold on, guys. Joe
Lazaro was on the show. He was answering questions about someone charged with a DUI. He had answers. He can give you answers, too. If ever you're charged with a crime, call him, please. He's happy to answer your questions and give advice. And then if you decide to hire him, he'll give you flat rate pricing. So please ask your questions initially, of course, and then decide if you want to hire Joe Lazaro for a DUI or any crime. You know, he's going to give you the best advice, and don't ever try to do it alone. That's the advice I'm giving you. And don't shop when you're under pressure. I've done the shopping for you. I've known Joe for many years. Joe Lazaro, 303-429-6200. 303-429-6200. Genesis Total Exteriors. Inside and out. Although it's called Genesis Total Exteriors. They do home improvements. They do basement finishing, kitchens, baths, pop tops, whatever you want done inside and out, including windows and doors and siding and roofs. And because they have a construction company that does all phases of improvements, they can take care of any storm damage you have or insurance claims on one invoice. You can trust Genesis Total Exteriors. I've known him for years. 303-679-8509, 679-8509, GenesisTotalExteriors.com.
Upgrade your outdoor space with JRM Enterprises. Family owned since 1983, they provide commercial and residential landscape
One thing I'll say about Kaiser, being able to log in and see everything ever in the past 20 years is fucking cool. Any test result, I can go, okay, let me see my cholesterol on a chart from the past 20 years. Let me see this, let me see that. Anything you can imagine, you can pull up. I guess it's really cool, actually. What is? Because like, if you go to Grossman, and you want him to check something out, and he does whatever, and then Grossman drops dead, you got to get those records like somehow and transfer them over to your new doctor and shit. They're just not all in one fucking place.
Well, the estate is supposed to put them in one place. Yes. There is a records depository, Mark.
No, but I mean getting them to your next doctor can be somewhat of a pain in the ass. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's almost like going from one vet to another.
Are you proposing a central depository?
Well, that's how Kaiser does it, but of course it's all Kaiser. Everything in Kaiser is Kaiser.
Well,
no matter what I do inside of Kaiser.
I know that. Why do you think it might be? You might get some resistance from the medical community if you tried to do that. It would make it too easy for you to go from place to place.
Make it real easy.
Mm-hmm.
But even if they send me to an outside whatever the fuck, it's still all in my Kaiser. Everything's still digital. When I was in Hawaii, for example, the Kaiser was so booked. I had a sinus infection 2 years ago in Hawaii. So I went over, they put me on an IV right before the plane, trying to get some fluid in me so the flight would be a little nicer on me. By the time I got back, I could see everything that an outside clinic did inside my Kaiser record, because they had nothing to do with Kaiser, except for...
How did it get in
there? They send it to Kaiser, Kaiser uploads it, because they still ultimately get paid through Kaiser.
Right, because it's insurance.
Yeah. Which was cool in Hawaii, because what they did is, if the Kaiser facilities, if the wait was over 1 hour, you could pick out a list of like 50 other ones on the island, go to them, and Kaiser handles the billing just like you were there. So actually, that was kind of cool. Because that's always kind of worried me, because Kaiser is not everywhere.
But aren't they a lot of places?
Fuck, man.
They are.
There's a huge one in Breckenridge. Summit County's got a massive Kaiser facility. I find that crazy. I guess it handles all of Summit.
Probably.
Later tonight, President Biden delivers
State of the Union address.
Live ABC News coverage begins at 6. The speech at 7. Commercial.
They just said that during the address tonight, if there's shelling and bombing going on, they're going to have split screen, so Biden will get half.
Yeah.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Chris has a comment on Akitas, and the reason he's mentioning this is we said we know a breeder who's giving away 2 puppies, Akita puppies, and they're 9 weeks old, and they're boys, and they want to give away to a first responder or an essential worker, you know, possibly a nurse or a doctor, trauma doctor, whatever, ER people. And we're working on that. We want people to send us nominations, or if they want to nominate themselves, at help@troubleshooter.com, or call 303-MARTINO, 303-627-8466. Then a few people called and said, you know, Akitas are special dogs, and one is that they want to be their only dog, and this breeder told us that. And also, there were other quirks about them. So, Chris, we asked people who are familiar with Akitas to call in. Is that why you're calling?
I am. We actually, my wife and I got married, lived next door to a couple that had 2 of them. Amazing, beautiful dogs. But I got to say, it's not the dog you'd walk up if you're a pet person and pet. They just have that look on their face. They're very dominant. And
but they're not scary. Like, are they friendly? Are you saying that they're
pretty mean?
They tend, yeah. That's what I'm asking.
They're mean. Tom, they can be mean. They can be pit bull mean.
Really?
Yeah. They're very alpha.
You remember Neon John way back in the day? he would actually bend knee on. But anyhow, he had one, and he was like, "Don't pet that dog, man." I mean, that dog was it was mean. It was.
mean, did it give you a scary look?
Yeah, I mean, they just have that look like you don't know what they're going to... It's not like a Labrador or a Golden Retriever you walk up in their wagon. They just lock on you.
And what about with kids?
No little kids ever.
Whoa.
Yeah, everything I just read on the internet said that, too.
No kids.
You don't want little kids. Older kids
No
are fine.
kids, no other animals. It would be the worst dog in the world to put on a horse property. They will go aggressive against any other animal that they think is breaking into their territory.
Man, they were bred to hunt bear.
Wow.
They're an amazing dog, but they're really a one-person dog. I mean, I would rate them for the research I did when we were thinking about getting them, and I was talking to rescues. They're up there with like a cane corso, with a bull mastiff.
Okay.
I mean, it can be a super.
I get it.
Train them.
No, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, and when I say training, this isn't going to Petco, for the 6-week course. This is having a trainer train you how to control them.
And okay, and we're going to get. I want to get this breeder on, actually, or I'd like to get someone else on. You live next door to him. I mean, you're a wealth of information. I'd like to have even more. I don't know. I mean, this, like, especially with the kid thing. And a one-person dog, what does that mean? Like, with a husband and wife, that would be fine, wouldn't it?
Yeah, husband and wife would be good, and older kids around them are fine. But anything low to them, they dominate any space they're at.
Whoa.
If anything gets in their face, that's not good.
How come? Hey, by the way, are they tough?
Mean.
I don't know, Mark. Are they tough dogs?
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, the things, like I say, they're up there with the mastiffs and the dogs that were trained as war dogs.
Okay, are they strong? They're strong then.
Oh, you would want a pincer collar with a strong leash. This would be the last.
Are they big? What are they? How tall do they get?
Males 100 pounds, probably as big as a big Labrador or a big German Shepherd.
Okay.
They look twice as big because they're so fluffy.
Okay, all right, I see what you're saying.
But again, I would just tell this would never be a non-dog owner's first dog.
Okay.
Never. They could really get in trouble, and there's a lot of them out there that are for rescue. And when I started doing my research, a lot of them are being put with rescues because they're aggressive.
Wow.
I wonder if there's issues with them with homeowners insurance like there are certain breeds.
I got an email that there was.
There was?
You have to report
We got to
them.
look more into this before we maybe strap somebody with a dog they can't handle. I'm serious. We have to get them on to talk about it. I mean, we have to, okay? I'm gonna make that a condition. We have to. And then maybe even another breeder, or maybe a vet or somebody who knows about them. All right. By the way, some texting. People want to know what I think of Title Lock. We're asked this a lot. What Title Lock does not do, it does not protect your house from liens or filings or deeds of trust or anything. Anyone can file on your house now or even with Title Lock. What it does do, it informs you that they're doing it. Okay? What do I think of it? They do just what they say. They inform you. But here's something you need to know. Counties are starting to do it free of charge, putting you on a list and notifying you of all recordings. So check that first. I'm Tom Martino. Don't forget referral.com for help, information, and referrals. And 303-MARTINO 24/7. Save all your problems for me.
Follow Tom Martino at Real Tom Martino. And stay connected with all of us at 630 KHOW. KHOW.com. And on the